The Western world is in ruin and ready to collapse. The so-called resistance leaders, they rage bait the slaves, pushing their own demise. Stay angry indeed. Black pills of despair rain from the sky. No one can stop the fall. No one can stop Black Chad, demon of despair.
Stop putting your emotion into it.
Wait,
we need to look for alternatives.
what's this?
Look for solutions. We can't just, give in to despair and this program demoralization of the West. Come on, guys.
What? You're not full of rage or despair? Fine. I will imprison you in an astral dungeon and keep you away from the others. No one will hear about your alternatives or your solutions or your silly indie brands. No one cares. The despair programming must continue.
What?
Welcome to Forever, nerd.
You haven't won, Black Chad.
Oh, yeah?
I'll talk to and review every indie creator I can, and we'll fight against your despair.
Even the bad ones?
Yes, even the bad ones.
Oh.
You don't get it. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me!
Oh.
Now on with the show. Hail nerds. What's up, everybody? What's up, you two? How are you guys doing?
Hello. Doing all right.
How was Christmas? Was Christmas all right?
I survived.
Yeah, well, I know, Chris, you're a terrible person, right? You don't even celebrate Christmas, do you?
Ivy, the Goyim no, shut it down.
Yeah. You gotta start spitting on people in the streets, are you? Maybe not. That's just something I saw. I don't know. Anyways, so it's the end of 2023. How was 2023 for you guys?
Short.
Pretty quick, huh?
It was, I call it a roller coaster with my testicles attached to it. So.
Oh.
Ow.
So,
Hmm.
It was up
think
and
I
it
saw
was
that on
down,
Twitter.
and when it was down, it was very painful. So there you go.
A lot of ups and downs, and not in the good way, huh?
Not always.
Every
Not
bump.
always.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was pretty good. I funded my first campaign. I don't know. I got 3 different stories out there. So I don't know. I think it was really good for me. I learned a lot this year. I learned quite a bit. Like, if anybody doesn't like me, they're just jealous.
I funded my first campaign, so also. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, there you go. Damn. Come on now.
Technically,
Well, and Chris, you've got issue number 2 well underway, aren't you? You're be launching your campaign this coming up year.
Yeah, dude. It sucks because hashtag only writer. You are at the mercy of others, and it's schnell, ich kann es haben. But it's going on almost 2 years now for production of book 2. But I think the wait will be worth it because it's going to be double everything. And we even got an alternative art team version. So
yeah.
Now
it's going to be double everything. Double the tits, double the gore, double the swords. You got to really sell it.
Yeah, 4 tits. Eat your heart out, Total Recall.
There you go.
They'll have 4 tits. I like it already.
You got 3, I'll raise you 4.
Yeah.
I like it. See, that's the kind of go get them attitude that's really needed in indie comics. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more titties. Well,
More.
Let's see. All right. So I guess
so Corey Barton's going to show up any minute.
Someone say hot chicks.
That was a thing. Do you remember that, Chris? Anytime we mentioned Corey Barton, he would actually appear on the stream. That was hilarious.
Like Satan himself.
Well, speaking of Corey, he did that alt cover for you, right? Like the
Fuck yeah.
hell yeah, man.
The
Dude,
blue,
speaking
the
of
blue
tits,
chick
too,
with the
good God.
tatas. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? The tatas, yes. Well, that is. I wanted to have that because one, tits sell really well, and two, they sell really well on Kickstarter. So I didn't even go to Kickstarter in my last campaign. So this next one, I'm going to be on Kickstarter and Indiegogo for sure. That's
Same
definite.
here.
So I don't know. And then I'm still going to work on trying to get issue 1 into Amazon. I was going to do that on my vacation. But I haven't gotten shit really done for my comic at all, and I don't know. I still have some days left on my vacation, but to make up for all that. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed that I haven't been able to get much done. I wanted to get on Global Comics, Amazon, and there was another one I can't think of right now. But well, Chris, you're on Amazon. Have you considered like Global Comics, or do you just want that one funnel?
Well, if I recall, Global Comics is strictly digital, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean we've had the guy on here that worked on it or owns it, right? Like
Global Comics. I don't think we have.
Are you sure? Because
he's in our circles. He's around our circles.
No, I've asked him to come on, but I don't think I ever got a response. So.
Oh, maybe. Okay, so I have spoken to the guy before. In fact, I have.
Yeah. Well, you're a little tramp. You get around, so you're probably on another person's show.
I'm the village bicycle.
Fucking doorknob.
Everybody gets a ride.
Oh shit! Hey. Look at you.
No. Every rider in the vicinity went. Oh.
Look at that man! Look at that handsome mane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you got the lock.
Usually not down. I have tendency to tie it back for when I hop on streams, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything. This is chill.
Nice. Yeah, it looks very luxurious looking.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were just talking about this last year. How was your year?
This has been a wild year for me. Like things kicked off with Whimsyland pretty hard, so I was able to essentially work from home based mostly on that. And this year, first comic book I ever created myself, the G Sedai special edition that's out now on Fund My Comic, as you see on the bottom there.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
Same here.
It's been an incredible year and a wild one despite all the crazy stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy year for everything. So
it's like the best of times and the worst of times. We're going to
right.
We're going freaking Dickensian, man.
You may be right. I don't know. Most of the shit that they put out there as all the crazy, it really just seems like they're just the media and all that stuff. Whoever is controlling the systems and all that stuff. It's just like they just want us all scared and disorganized. So that seems to be about the only thing. And let's not talk about any of the real issues, like, the economy. We're not talking about that. But anyways. So I guess what I wanted to do was I want to maybe look at some of the shorts that we've made over the past few months and have some laughs and I don't know, just kind of bullshit. I don't have a lot otherwise. Yeah, and Chris, also, I want to take a look at your stuff too, because you've got last time you showed it was like this fucking this whole like setup with like a map and all this other shit. It looked like terrain. I mean, like RPG kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Share screen.
Good to see you, Bunny. By the way.
Hey, good to see you, man. Long time no see.
Oh, are people here? That's cool.
Hey, people.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also share. Yeah, sorry.
Somebody's
Somebody's
here? Oh my god.
I don't normally let's see. I'm new to using StreamYard on this browser. So all right, let me see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. I also need to make sure that you guys can hear it. So let's check this out. Let's play a little bit of that.
Give it a look.
Stop. Black Chad.
Oh, there's no sound.
Demon.
Yeah, I hear it.
I hear it.
Oh, you do? I can't.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, dude. Why is that? See, this is the
You're
problem
the one
that I
that
had.
made it. So you know what it says.
Yeah, right. That's true. But I want to be able to hear it. That is so dumb. I hate StreamYard. I really am just gonna just use a different service.
I wish I
don't
could
know.
find one. I've determined StreamYard is less my problem.
It could be. I mean, so anyways, this was the first short I made. This is the mural artist that did turn that down. That did my backdrop. So this is it actually being made, and that it was a blast. He was like, "Hey, do you want to come over and check it out?" I was like, "Yeah, let me film it, dude." So
Nice.
yeah, I did this for maybe 5 minutes, and then just clipped it up and used it. But it was so fun listening to him. Dave is like, this longtime artist. He's been doing art forever. He's a real handy kind of guy, works with wood and everything too. And he just wanted something fun to do instead of, he normally does like commissions for museums and shit like that. Or like, he also did a mural for like a firefighting or a firefighter place because like their chief died or whatever. And so like they wanted a mural to memorize, whatever. So he did this huge mural for him. But anyways, and he was just like, yeah, I'm looking for something fun to do. So I was like, well, here's my idea for my show. He's like, oh, let me do that. And I was like, yes, please. That would be great.
Yeah, that's not a green screen back there. That's like a legit wall.
That is a legit wall.
And it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
a gorgeous
Castle
dungeon.
Grayskull.
yeah, well, that was the whole kind of inspiration was I showed him box art from He-Man, and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's great," because he was telling me ideas, and he was like, "Well, a good juxtaposition in color would be purple and green." I was like, "You got to be kidding me, dude! That's exactly what He-Man does." And then I showed him some commercial shit for him, and he was like, "That's exactly what I'm talking about." I was like, "This is gonna be so fucking cool."
Nice.
So yeah,
Awesome.
it worked out well.
Well, I
Anyways,
thought you went with bisexual lighting. No?
Yeah.
Well, that's not my choice. That is the demon that's got me. He's kind of
Red and blue. He's like a Dutch door. He swings both ways.
Whoa. I'm not sure Victor would like that, but that's fine. Anyways, so since I can't hear this, that sucks. I don't know how to make it so I can hear this. Whoops. This is messy as shit. All right, can you guys hear that one?
No.
No.
Oh my god.
Share audio is like automatic now, isn't it?
Is it?
You still have to check the box, maybe?
Yeah, there's that weird little toggle.
Yeah.
See, stop.
Oh, also, StreamYards is trying to move away from sharing videos through sharing the screen, and they literally have an option now that's share videos, and you can point it to a video file.
Gotcha. So this is going to be a bust today,
helpful.
then, huh? This is going to be a bad idea.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with bitrate. Like a lot of times, like especially when you're showing like your campaign's trailer, and if they don't have it, like if the presenter doesn't have it, when you share that shared screen, it's on like a severe latency, and it's usually like frame rate dips.
Oh, what's up, Forest Pub? Thanks for coming.
Hey.
I don't know who you are, but thank you for coming. Adega Outlaw. Woohoo! Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey.
It looks like he knows Chris. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
because
that's
I've
the
realized that
doctor.
people actually come here for Chris. So
No, it would be nice. Like Adega's a writer, dude. He's a fantasy and sci-fi writer. So
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Get him on.
2024. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, going forward, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the channel and all that. Like, I'm not sure how many more interviews I'm gonna put on. So I kind of want to shift gears to doing like reviews and stuff. And I did that little poll on Twitter, and I was like, hey, where do you click through to buy stuff? And the lowest one was reviewers. So
Really?
I'm like, well, how can I add any kind of value to the people that come on my show. And I don't know. I'm kind of just in a difficult place right now, I guess. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do that can actually add any value? I don't want to just be a whatever show.
All about channel growth. You gotta get some hot chicks in here. You gotta go pick some fights, get some drama going. All the kids.
That's what it is. It's really annoying because, like, I see on X, it's like,
and talk about the
people...
latest misstep of the mainstream ad nauseum.
Yep.
At least
ad
4 times
nauseum
a
ad
week.
infinitum.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie sucks. Here's 20 episodes of me dedicated to telling you about it.
Of how bad it was. All right,
So,
let's watch
let
some
me
of these
tell you
shorts. Let's get a laugh. Are you
How
serious?
much it sucks.
No, I'm fucking with
The greed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who sucks
You.
individually.
All right.
It is
sorry,
okay
I'm
if I
gonna keep calling. Sorry.
stream this though, right?
All right, there we go.
I hear audio.
That sounds like
I don't
Richard.
know. Does it allow you to?
No, I'm kidding.
There we go. God damn it, you guys. All right. How about that?
God damn you guys.
All right, hush. You and you hush. And, all right.
Yeah.
There he is. Little, look at that little.
Oh wait, we
foxy
are
man.
live. I'm looking at your YouTube right now.
Anyways, all right. Let's look at this one.
Walk the Slayer.
Yeah, this is the.
Oh,
bing,
Slayer,
bing, bing. We got it.
Talk about softcore, man.
Whoa! Look at that amazing poster. Gosh.
Yes.
What's that guy's
Don't make him like
problem?
that anymore.
Like,
Yep.
do you suppose he has like a hernia, or what do you suppose he's getting?
Living with
Well, this
a
isn't really working for me. That sucks. Like, I can't hear anything. I don't know why that is.
I can
Did
hear
the
it,
whole-
and not see that. But
Bing, bing, bing. We got it.
Sounds like, talk about softcore, man.
Whoa!
Yeah, it sounds like we're talking.
Yeah.
Like it's really low or something.
No, it's really loud. Like it
There it
literally,
is.
it's on
Look at
level
that
with
thing.
us. So it
Yeah,
sounds
it's-
like we're saying the stuff.
Walk the Slayer.
Fuck.
Yep.
Oh, bing, bing, bing. We got it. All right. Well, this sucks. It's not gonna work. All my plans are shit. There we go. All right, I give up.
Welcome
Going
to
home.
reality.
Good night, everybody.
Shut it down. Shut it all down.
Yeah.
It's really aggravating. Like, I got a hold of
You should be used to this by
StreamYard.
now,
I'm like,
Aaron. Come on now.
what's that?
You should be used to that by now, Aaron. Come on now.
It sucks sucking so much, you know.
It sucks sucking so much.
You're like the
So
song.
load up
Gloom,
and
despair, and agony.
Come on.
me.
It's the end of the
Whoa.
year stream. Let's see some pep, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out
I'm
with a
trying,
bang.
dude.
It's like
Woo.
it's the end of the year stream. Everything sucks. Good night, everybody.
Everything sucks. Everything sucks. Everybody's
2023
fucked.
sucks.
Maybe
2024 is gonna
it'll
suck
be
even
less
more.
sucky in the new year. So
Yeah, that's all right.
no promises.
No promises at all. Let's see.
It's
Damn
going to
it.
be an election year this year.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Summer of Love. We're gonna see more.
Let
the Apes
Operation
burn shit
Mockingbird begin. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm freaking. I am so done with politics. Like,
Yeah. I'm not. I don't plan on participating in anything political this year. I don't know. Or
Here
the coming
comes
Let
year.
the
me let my
burnout.
dog out
I
before
don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
I'll be right back.
Mhm.
Like, none of those assholes give a fuck about me. What the fuck do
Yeah.
I care about them? You know,
well, it's an
Like,
aristocracy. It's not a government.
I'm
And,
just gonna
you
keep
know,
buying bullets, and saving up to, we're getting chickens this next year, and see if I can try to get the fuck out of the city. I think that's the
Yeah,
only thing I
yeah.
can do at this point. What else am I supposed to do?
Man,
Well, get it.
that's
I'm
always
looking
been my
at-
platform. Mind your own, area, your own business. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Why the hell do we always care with what's happening 50 million miles away from us?
Yeah.
Well, as an empire, you have to. It's
Well,
like the
you're
reason
well,
they
not-
send.
I'm not
Reason
an
they send-
empire.
Yeah.
The reason they send all those troops to go shoot up all those goat herders is, so for resources. It has nothing to do with our
Only
freedom.
thing
Well,
I really need to
I
be
guess-
worried about is 10 miles in any direction around me.
yeah, I mean, I guess you
Yeah,
could
pretty
say
much.
that it is about our freedom because, like, you got to do all that to run an empire. So I don't know.
Well,
It
it's-
sucks.
Yeah. It just for me, I'm like, I just got to figure out how to get this portable generator online so that when the lights go out, I can keep mine on.
The 6 hamsters in a wheel.
Yeah, what kind of generator did you get?
Well, I was looking into those. Oh God, what the hell's the brand? I think it's a Hanker. It's the you can get them off of Amazon. It's like a big ass battery that you can. It's got USB, AC, like it's got the whole spiel, and that might be kind of like. I don't know if I can afford one of those nice $3,000 ones that just have like an auxiliary, like as soon as the power goes out,
What's up,
it
AJ?
instantly plugs in. Hey.
Oh, by the way, thank you for buying and reading it. I really
There you
appreciate
go.
it.
Silver linings everywhere.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
Wait, is that reciprocal? Should I not do that? Oh, am I a communist now? Oh my god.
That's
the
some
fucking conversation
scary.
right now.
over there.
The conversation right now is just so fucking dumb, and it really
You
sucks.
need to
that
kick
it's-
all three of us off the stream and just sit there and stare out.
Yeah, we'll just talk
40
about
minutes.
we'll talk about me. We'll talk
Yeah,
about how
enough about
how
me. What do
shitty
you guys
Marvel
think of me?
is.
Well, enough about me. What do you guys think about me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will leverage my audience to talk about Marvel, drum up a lot of negative feedback and all that. Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah,
Just
and
say
I'll
Marvel,
monetize
that's
that.
negative feedback.
and
on
never
the
talk about alternatives ever.
No,
Yeah.
No, that's
No.
not true. You saw his video. He's had
no,
at least
no, they
4
talk
people.
about Eric July all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Eric July.
Yeah, he had like 4 people on that are already 100K winners.
Eric July stuff from head to toe, you know. Like, see, who are they supporting right now? I don't know. Rippaverse. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe those
Yeah.
guys are like leaning to that side, I guess. I
Do
don't know.
you guys have you guys ever seen the Video Game Awards?
I remember that
not
one.
for a long time.
So there's a meme that was created for the Video Game Awards. Jeff Keighley, who is like this huge shill, they call him the Dorito Pope because during his presentation, he was literally seated next to a giant Master Chief stand-up that was like featuring Doritos and Mountain Dew, and there were like Mountain Dew products in the foreground and like
Train fuel,
Dorito
baby.
bags.
Train fuel.
But that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing that with other stuff. We're like, look, it's not Doritos. It's insert like a product that we're trying to get sponsorship from.
But
Oh,
what's
yeah.
amazing to me though is there are so many books out there right now that I could just name off the top of my head that are way better than the current output from that aforementioned. And these guys they keep
What's up, Marcus?
they don't even read the product. You can tell they have not even read the product.
Yeah.
You know, because they have nothing to say about the content of the product. They're just wearing the gear from head to toe. And
Dorito Pope.
And
And
it's
I'll
just
tell
like,
you,
Yeah,
I don't.
If you really
I'm-
if you want an alternative, media to,
Yeah.
they keep pushing this. They keep saying we need an alternative media. We need an alternative, ecosystem. Then by golly, then push stuff that's good in the alternative sphere. You know?
Well, that's just it. And I'm not just gonna
It's
sit here
lazy.
and bash all over what's his name, Ripa or whatever. But at the same time, if you're gonna make some kind
I'm
of
not bashing
platitude,
Ripa. I mean, Ripa's
half-ass,
living his best
you
life.
know-
I'm bashing these idiots that are too lazy to check into what else is out there.
Sure.
There's open up. Let me just wear Ripperware stuff because I'm not going to look into any other damn thing.
Yeah,
know?
Well,
not about the
Yeah.
indie because he's not an indie guy. So
No,
Right.
he's not. He's not.
small
hired-
business or
you know,
corporation.
he hired people who used to work for Marvel and DC
Soka
and whatever else.
sisters. Yeah.
Now-
And that's fine. That's
you know,
all that
that-
makes
They don't
business.
show-
particularly, I think that was a smart move professionally.
It was.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But
I
he's putting-
totally
he's
get it.
putting out
He
more
had the
product
means
than
and
the bank.
opportunity to make that move, and I salute him for doing so.
Mhm.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
but
Definitely.
like most of his fans are fans of him.
Yeah.
That's the point. And there's nothing wrong with that. He did a
Nope.
lot of work to garner that
Yeah,
respect.
well, he keeps
So-
saying 17 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You
I
know,
mean, if I
and
had a
across
career
multiple
building up an
different
audience,
platforms.
Yeah, he's
you
at
know, it
Blaze
wasn't
Media.
just the YouTube
That's-
stuff. It was Backwards and the band before that, and he's been doing a lot of different things, and all of that just sort of culminated in the perfect storm.
sure.
And I think even he sort of acknowledges that sometimes, and is grateful for it, which is something you don't see. Yeah, he's not a crowdfunder.
He's not. He's not
So-
in our sphere at all.
Yeah,
So,
I can't really fault the people that follow him and that love what he does for not looking at alternatives. They're not interested in alternatives. They're just interested in Eric July
In
and
them.
what he's putting out there.
yeah, and it's kind of aggravating because it's like, because then he can make videos saying, "Oh, this isn't a socialist thing," and like he'll use all these platitude, catchphrases and programmed words and all this other shit. It's like nobody's saying it's socialist, dude. It's talking about we are in a small group and we like to help each other out. Like that doesn't have to be socialist. That could just be like a network,
No,
a
I wanna
community.
put some-
Oh, it's not a community.
No, I
Okay.
want to put some clarity to this though, because like this is easily gonna go south and turn into a giant clusterfuck. Okay, so
Quit gangs.
I don't want to say that this is about begrudging somebody's success because it's not.
No, I'm
And
not
it's
jealous
not-
of Ripa at all or anybody
No,
who's successful. That's
and
fucking
the other
dumb.
thing is I totally get the argument of overtly entitlement. Like you have a platform, it's your obligation to like feature me and do all this shit. Like that again, I completely agree. That's 100%. My problem though is the mercenary approach of the people that wave the we're all here to help, blah blah blah, rising tides lifts all ships.
Right.
And then once they get what they can from you, the mercenaries just go elsewhere. And it's like, wow,
grab an oar and then slap people on that are trying to
well,
get
it's
out of the water.
I'm and again, I'm not calling out anybody's names, but dude, I've done a shit ton of pro bono work, and people who just like, hey, yeah, thanks, see ya. Like, would have been nice to, little help here, I got something
my best friend Shadowpunk, he made some 3D figurines for some really big names in this supposed movement, and offered them to them for free. All they had to do was like help him promote his book.
Mhm.
And rather than helping promote his book, they turned down free 3D figurines. He's willing to give them the file and everything, just for some help promoting his book. And none of them took him up on that. And I'm like, what is, it's no strings attached. I just need some help promoting my book, And he didn't even attach the strings to that. He said, if you don't like the looks of my book, then don't. You're not obligated. But they wouldn't even do that much. And so, and these are the people that are like, oh, well, we're all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there, not everybody can be like a Bancroft show or when they were doing Pimp My Comic and all that shit. That stuff was stellar.
Bancroft is
but
the
not
only one
everybody
that
can
does
do that. What's that?
Bancroft is the only one that does it.
Yeah.
He's the only one that puts his money where his mouth is. The only one.
Yeah, he's a
I
legit
agree.
dude.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect for everything.
Oh,
Bancroft.
Yeah, he didn't know me. He got me on his show, man. Like he was like, hey,
yeah.
Like, come on, okay. Like,
Shit, I thought that
he is exactly what they say they are.
yeah.
Bancroft is what they say they are.
Well, and he was the ambassador. Jose told me, he's like, because I was like, man, how am I going to sell? Because I tried selling the original version of #1 on Kickstarter. It went nowhere. I got like $300. I'm like, Jose, I don't know what the fuck to do. And he was like, Aaron, there's a whole indie community called Comicsgate. Go check it out. Go check out Bancroft. And so I did, and I was like, holy shit, this is really fucking cool. And it turns out Bancroft is his own thing. He's not the norm in the community,
No.
Oh, sorry, it's not a community. My bad.
That book he put out is top drawer.
oh yeah,
It's beautiful.
I like it.
Unique.
yeah, I bought it
well
twice.
That's funny. Hey, chat, what's up? The woke breaker. I like it.
There you go.
Hey,
He's probably hanging out in my chat. He's one of my regulars.
Nice.
Woke.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
But
it's kind of aggravating.
Think about it. Think about this though. Is every time I hear one of these guys saying, "Well, I don't have time to promote people. I don't have time to do this." Bancroft works a full-time job. He still does, and he's
A family.
He's put out several comic books. Got a family. And
I mean, he makes his wife mow the lawn, but he still has to be there for his kids.
well,
it's a lot of work rollerblading and eating
found-
cake bites.
she has said on stream that she mows the lawn because he doesn't do it right. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is though is he does everything that they say they don't have time to do. So
Right.
it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And you know, Shane was like, "Well, I don't have time to make we don't have the time or resources to make this platform for everybody." And yet here comes Fund My Comic does the exact same damn thing with a lot less resources. Okay, so it's all bullshit. Everything they say is bullshit. So anyway, there it is.
Oh, look at that. AJ says, I finished Infinitel earlier this year. Got to get to making reviews, but that'll change next year. Yeah, and that's exactly, you probably missed it, AJ. That's kind of what I want to do with my channel with the coming year is maybe not do so many interviews and just try to do reviews, because I really think that seems to be missing in the market. Like everybody here is like, man, I need eyes and reviews and people talking and all this other stuff. If I can do that and that will help more, then I don't know, we'll see. I would like to try to do that. So plus it's doing these shows, organizing it, having people cancel last minute, not coming, not getting back a hold of you to reschedule. All that shit is a waste of my time when it doesn't work right.
And that's just Chris.
Yeah, that's just fucking Chris, dude. Motherfucker's never on time. No.
Yeah. Review shows, they, at least as far as the YouTube algorithm goes, they don't go anywhere as in the algorithm.
Nah.
So if you want to nosedive into that real hard, it's going to need to be as grassroots as possible. What's up, BA?
Good, BA.
You're going to need to word of mouth it as much as you can. So it's going to be almost the same as, if not more of a marketing grind as doing this show.
Sure.
And what you've been doing is because you're going to be working against the system.
Yes. Yeah, I feel that. I think the way I want to approach it is kind of like I've seen other shows, like for instance, Joe Sontag, he does the Appreciating Comic Book show. Well, he'll just pull out a comic book and sit there and flip through it and talk about the panels and all that shit. Really like that. It's really fun. And I think a lot of people really enjoy that as well, where you sit and just appreciate the fucking book. And so I think that's what I want to try doing with my show is just kind of sit, have a camera on the book or have it pulled up digitally and just kind of flip through it. Maybe read it, right here. So I don't know. We'll see. It just sounds like something new to try, that I haven't really done before. So
yeah. The critical analysis of anything is not it's not viable as a solo strategy. It works best in connection with other things. Like if you think about I hate to say it, but the New York Times, a former newspaper, it's it's reviews of film back in the day. Being connected to the New York Times was what gave it clout. What gave it relevance.
New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, if it was just by itself, it was just Alan Dork's bestseller list. Everybody'd be like, "Who cares?"
Well, also one thing that I've noticed, especially from like video game review channels that are kind of successful, is never dedicated to one specific. Because if the audience doesn't like the product, they're not going to watch it. But if you have a variety, so if you have basically what you were saying, man, it's like have a show and then have and here's a cutaway, here's a 15-second, 20-second breakdown synopsis why you should get excited about this book. Here is what I enjoyed about this book. Here are the people that created this book. Here's a link by, and then go back into another segment about your show.
Yep. That's actually what I'm planning on doing. Not really one for announcing things to one of those weirdos that doesn't scream from the rooftops. But I have set myself up to start a weekend, writing sprint show where you can come sit down with me and get some work done on your project and ask some questions, get into the chat, that sort of thing. And in the middle of it, I want to do a 5 to 10 minute review segment of something that I've read over the last year. I've got them stocked up, my analysis, my whether or not I thought it was something that folks could get into and why. Just very personal from my position, not like I have any, major sway.
I don't know. It sounds
me
reciprocal.
as dude.
Yeah, like
I know it sounds reciprocal, so I shouldn't do it. But,
you're definitely a
How dare
communist.
you?
Well,
yeah,
Anyways,
but I was
like
planning
this.
on doing this like 6
Demystified.
months ago, so it was well before this conversation, and I'm not changing course.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
like
think
this. What BA says
demystified
is this:
the,
never ask for promotion or you're a beggar. Yeah, that's exactly what that dude said in that video. He's like, well, what you shouldn't do is ask for promotions, is because that's like asking for a handout, or you should be so big. It's like, dude, nobody
how do you
fucking
get
knows
big?
me. I haven't been doing this for 17 years like you did, So what are you fucking talking about, dude? We're not even in the same conversation. Like, he's literally just talking to a mirror at that point.
No,
or somebody
would be
who
curious.
has that kind of money who can just like, well, here's my book. Well, shit, even then, who's going to even know about you? They wouldn't. So, like, if you're just starting out, you need to get the word out there. You need to be on shows where other people who buy comics or books or whatever is interested in that kind of stuff, can see it. It's called the marketplace. I don't understand why this is so difficult for some people to get.
No, I would be interested to hear, like, they're like, oh, well, you got to be so big that like you're undeniable. Okay, well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he even says in the same video repeatedly that he leveraged past audiences from past things into the next thing that he was doing. Great, that's what you're supposed to do, dummy.
So what if you don't have a past audience?
It's not a fucking giant revelation, okay?
You just put the time in to build one. That's I think the undertone of what he was trying to say.
Right
he just said
now,
it really
the only
badly.
thing that's moving my channel, moving the needle on my channel, is the shorts.
All right, so one of the reasons I wanted to sit and watch those shorts, which turned out to be a fucking turd, was because a lot of them have, like, there's one with like a 300 views, a couple of 100 views, 60, I mean, there's a few that have like 2 views, but there are plenty with a lot of views. Unfortunately, it doesn't, like, I think Royce did a video on this about shorts. It doesn't translate into subs for me. I get subs more from on the sharing posts on Twitter. Like, I'll be like, hey, here's my channel. This is what we do. Here's my newest episode. Help me, come sub me, help me out. And I got, like, I don't know, overdoing the past few months, I've gotten like 30 or something subs. So I think that works way better than just making shorts, which is very time consuming for me. Even though I have the full show already ready to go, and I could just sit and clip it all up, it takes time that I have to do other shit for, or with. And also I want to clip out like 3 or 4 things. What's that?
You're approaching it wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is how easy a shorts can be, and this is what I do. I take a walk every day. I'm trying to lose weight, blah blah blah. Get my health around. And as I just sit in the car, while I'm walking, I'm composing in my head, right? And then I just sat down. I hit the shorts button, and I go live with the shorts, and then I just do a minute of content, and then just put the labels on it and call it a day.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's another thing is I wasn't doing, or I'm not doing like current topic kind of stuff. I've been just doing like genre kind of things.
Well, I mean, my biggest shorts came from me going to a Comic-Con and just doing like short videos all during the course of being at the Comic-Con, and I had more views. I had over 1,000 views on one of the videos, and it was a weird video. It was like, I just said hello to this one guy, and evidently he's like, found it online, and he like shared it out to his whole entire, So I got over 1,000 views on that one, and I was like, why in the world is this one? That's a really good one, and this one's just like a throwaway.
How many?
The one that got over 1,000. Over 1,000.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah, it spiked the hell out of it, But right now I'm over. I'm at 433, I think. And,
nice, good for you. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and
I'm up over 2,000 views in the last 2 months.
Damn, and that's doing like current topic stuff, right?
No, not necessarily. It's like the other day I heard a song by Tom McDonald called "Better Version," and I was just reflecting on, you know, what that song meant to me, and I just did a short on it. And the more heartfelt you are, the more genuine you are, the more it resonates with people, the more they like it.
God damn it! You mean I can't be
You're
fake?
just too artificial and shallow. I'm sorry, Aaron. Come on, man.
Too artificial, shallow, and good looking. It's a tough
Well, that
mix.
too. It's intimidating. It's extraordinarily intimidating. You know.
Hard to be you.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Being green. You know, there you go. Anyway.
I like this. Oh, he became known for music. I'm sure his band submitted demo tapes to record labels. No, that would be communism. That's definitely communistic, and there's no way he would do that.
Well,
Yeah.
he also has this whole entire thing where he says he's an anarcho-capitalist, but he really isn't.
No.
I mean, the definition of anarcho-capitalism is pure, you know, anything goes capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
rubber
don't seem.
barons.
And I you know, I used to have arguments against that kind of stuff, but you know what? I couldn't find an arguments against because you know I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, I listened to a lot of that stuff. And you know,
You listen to Owen Benjamin, you hear a lot of that stuff.
I disagree. He doesn't talk anarcho-capitalist at all.
Okay.
I would go back and, in fact, he was like, he kind of rants about it. He's like, we need government. You know, it's the fact that the one we have is shitty. But I will say that, because like I used to listen to, I went from like Ron Paul to like Molyneux, you know, Stefan Molyneux. So I was Rothbard, all that shit. I loved it all. And
What
but
are
the
you,
problem-
pinball?
What's that?
What are you, pinball? Is there a tilt at some point?
Yeah. No, and so, but one of the things that they can't argue against is like that also means that child sex trafficking is allowed, because if it's by consent, if a 5-year-old says, yeah, I'll have sex with this 50-year-old man, then that's okay, because it's the free market.
And that's how our stream gets killed.
Whatever.
It's nice knowing you.
I mean, you know, like, how do you stop that? They act like it's like there won't be a replacement. You know, they never get over the idea that it takes a moral society to be able to, you know, to work in high trust, to be able to work anywhere near decent under those conditions. So, but you know, try talking to them about that. No, because then they're like, no, it's about, you know, freedom, dude. It's like, freedom's not good for everybody.
No,
it's not good for everybody at all. So,
well, I mean, that's the thing, that, you know, the Constitution was there to protect the freedoms of the populace from the government. It wasn't meant to be the government's tool against the populace, which is what it's become.
Well, all right. So AJ says, yeah, but her family then is able to enact consequences on that pedo if they want to. You know how many people sell their children? Yeah, like right now, people sell their children. You know,
right now the government is handing children off to pedos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and if it exists now under a government, what do you think it's going to be like without a a big gun?
Anarchy basically just means the weak are subjugated by the strong. That's all it means. Because they can take revenge. How? Could you go storm some freaking cartels hacienda there? No, you're gonna get lit up. Like, you don't have the means.
You could.
You can if you're
you would be a stain on the front doorstep before you even.
Doesn't mean you're going to succeed, but you definitely could.
I don't know, get a 50 cal, you know, and put up against the big mopeds.
What about all the zombie cities with all the homeless walking around, you know, on fentanyl and shit? You think that wouldn't be even more widespread?
Oh, that's exactly why that's
those people are
way
brave.
too self-indulgent.
You know,
What's that?
Those people are you know, beautiful and brave. So, you know,
it's stunning.
They're mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I mean, is it corrupt? Yeah, of course it is. But that's only because we have a standard. Like, if we didn't have a standard, you're right, corruption would be gone. Because that would be the new standard. You know, anybody can get over on anybody, and nobody's got any kind of checks. You know, trust me, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and smartest guy, but at the same time, the truth can be so fucking easy and simple that you don't even see it because you're
Trust me, you don't want to hear Aaron opping on anything because it's like, hey, this is pretty hopeful, and Aaron comes in like, no, it's not hopeful. It's horrible.
Sunshine on my shoulder.
This is naive, man. This is naive. Let me tell you why this is screwed up. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
let me go shoot myself now.
Yeah, they do, even though the government says no. It's true.
Mr. Human Wet Blanket,
The human Hey, that's not
Debbie
fair.
Downer.
I was going
Yeah.
for Little Black Rain Cloud.
I'm
but
here to fight the demons of despair.
Spark of hope over there.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
are
So,
the Black
Chris,
Cat. Are you kidding me?
yeah, he's starting to have an influence on me. I think.
Yeah,
I've been
the
in this
Nietzsche
That's
room.
the
thing.
secret, everybody. He
Yeah.
is the Black Cat.
He stared into the abyss and became it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be,
It's the Fight
he
Club
runs
all
very
over again.
anarcho-capitalist, so
He is Tyler Durden,
overthrow him,
everybody.
and I'll become him. It'll be great.
There you go.
Anyways,
And then
so
Do
Chris
whatever
said
you want.
that he shared the screen, and so we're gonna try to watch some of these. So if that's cool with you, Chris,
Sure,
let's
is
give
there
this
any-
a shot. I just wanted to
there any-
look at some of our past shorts and maybe just have some laughs. I don't know. You can start down at the bottom and maybe skip through a few of them.
All right.
I want to see how many. Maybe hit the ones that look interesting to you.
All right. Let's see. We got Hawk and the Hernia Slayer. Have you guys seen that one?
Play.
Yeah, we watched that one.
Hawk the Slayer.
Oh, bing, bing, bing. We got it. There we go.
Talk about softcore, man.
Whoa. Look at that amazing poster. Gosh.
Yes.
What's that guy's
Don't make him like
problem?
that anymore.
Like, do you
No.
suppose he has like a hernia, or what do you suppose he's saying?
Living with a hernia.
Is that National Lampoon's European Vacation? No.
I love that. Chris is like living with a hernia. That was like the funniest part of that. It's where most of these is like,
operation.
most of these is Chris being funny, or like the guest. I swear, it's
Naturally.
the best. Yeah, he's the face. He's the face of the show. Let's be honest.
Got the hot elfin babe.
Why is he a chick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
there's my
assuming my
boobs.
gender? Undo me. Undo me so hard.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I am sorry.
That's ma'am.
Ma'am.
That's great.
What was that? A cork? Okay.
Yeah, that one's really funny. How that doesn't have more views, I don't know.
It looks a little like
Yeah.
sex toy.
No. I mean, he's got those eyes that are like he knows.
I've seen some shit.
He's like,
And
I know
here
how
I
to
was
use the sword.
When I chose the topic, I thought you were going to choose good movies, and I was like, "Damn it!" Nope.
Yeah. Well, see,
No.
that's what you get for thinking I'm
Oh,
going to
we
bring
got royalty in the chat over there.
what I'm here for. You kind of man up a little bit. He looks like he's kind of standing in a line, so that's kind of lame. But anyways, yeah, he's probably trying to hold his butt cheeks. Everybody's like, wait a minute, where's the real jewel?
Somebody pop a cork.
Yeah.
Prison wallet.
Yeah, Hawk did.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's up, Royce?
Good to see you, dude.
What up, Stan?
Hey, Stan.
That's funny. Is Stan another one from your channel? I don't think I've seen Stan before. Welcome
Yeah,
to the channel.
he's on my channel, evidently.
Very cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that show was so funny, man. Both having Richard and Greg here. Those two are funny, especially like Greg is a fucking riff master. He's very kind of quiet, but the dude is quick, smart, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways.
the snarky ninja. Watch out.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Remember Cinderella?
Yes. Yeah, let's play that one. That one got some good views on it too. Because
Poor
you know,
Neff.
it's Sin. What's that?
These parents bought a Cinderella VHS for their kids, and they, let the media babysit their kids. So they left the house or left the room and everything. And they came back like 10 minutes later. The kids are crying. What is he doing to her? And
Oh my God.
Yeah, the dad was interviewed. He goes, I should have known something was up when Cinderella was spelled with an S.
Oh shit.
Well, like, looks like we're not going to have the birds and the bees discussion with these kids.
Oh man, the trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma. Yeah.
That's not what you use the glass shoe for.
Oh. Yeah. 2 suitors, 1 glass shoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that one got Victor.
Oh shit.
What the hell are we talking about? I don't know. We've kind of been all over the place. Right now, we're just kind of looking at some shorts. Earlier, we were bitching about something. I don't know. Communism.
Rice doesn't like shorts.
Oh, that's right. Well, that came up too about the shorts. That sounds horribly wrong. Yes. Well, it is. Everything about that is wrong. Cinderella.
Yes,
2 suitors, 1 cup.
Yeah. The brown foot. What else do
What's
we
that?
have here?
Yes, that made children cry. It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. It was on a current affair, and it was about how Buena Vista has different subsidiaries. Disney, and one of their subsidiaries is a pornographic video company, and they accidentally got a mix-up in the warehouse, and they put the basically the adult films in distribution to Toys R Us for VHS tapes or whatever for kids.
Yeah.
And parent just sees Cinderella. Oh yeah, the kids will like this. It's an El Cheapo version, $5. They put it in, and boom, and like, rock that kid's world.
Oh gosh. I think that's just the excuse. It's probably the dads.
Yeah, he's like, damn, look at the rack on Cinderella. Yeah. And then it was like, yeah, that's because it's coming out, baby.
Oh gosh. Anyways, let's talk about something other than pornography and children. Let's see. Play one of the other ones.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That's probably a really good idea.
How about?
Well, I mean, we've already talked enough about. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
When I grow up, man, I'm not that far away from that.
I got him.
Yay!
Nothing beats that Chris laugh.
I'm okay.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Oh, Asia,
I love
change.
Yep.
I love the undulating. It's like the static character stance.
He had
Yep.
follow through. He gave that follow through. Oh. Oh, good for him.
Look,
He wins.
Man, you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, I'm in pain, and you fool me 3 times, I might have testicular torsion. Come on.
Trying to get
Swollen. Man, Patty is such a funny guy. Holy
Hell
shit.
yeah.
I can't wait to have him back on the show or something. You guys should get him on Iron Age or something. He's a really funny guy.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, good
I
conversation.
will
Everything.
check that out.
Yeah, patio cakes. Anyways, yeah, it's been fun doing the format this way, but like I said, it's quite a bit. It's more work than I can really muster sometimes. And like this last one I put up last week with Richard and BA. I haven't gone back and cut it up. So, what's this one? Grand Rising Boys. Happy New Year. I hope all of you have great success in the coming year. Oh, except you, Bunny.
Damn.
It's fucked up, dude.
I love you,
What do you think about
File.
that?
It's okay. It's file 13.
It went to handshake and finished with the backhand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
anyways.
tells me the F off all the time. It's his way of saying I love you.
I don't know. Let's do one more and then let's do something else.
About the duel of the pecs.
Yeah, there we go. That one I had to chop it up a little bit
doing a
because you only get a
documentary
minute.
on Dragonlance right now, and I know his last name is kind of a weird one. I can't remember it, but he's in that meme where it's like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, bro, and this dude's like flexing, and then
Joe
it's
Manganiello.
Men's
Or
Health.
Mag-
Yeah,
yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
Manganiello. There it is.
He's like, really, bro? Boom. It's like,
They're
oh,
like
shit.
Battle of the Pecs Flex.
Yeah.
Nerdy princesses love role playing and models, and I have both.
That could be the fact you got washboard abs, you're over 6 feet, got a full head of
Yeah.
hair. No, it's not that.
No.
Totally
Yeah.
the nerd shit.
Yeah. Cut a steak with your jawline. Yeah. Anyways, oh no, because James got one out of those. So yeah, way to go, guys. I'm gonna give that one to Henry Cavill's pecs.
Oh,
Go.
we never stood a chance.
It was a good
Little
show.
homoerotic.
That was a good one. I mean,
little bit.
yeah, it's me. All right. Anyways, yeah.
I'm sharing. The file I'm sharing is the funniest joke that's ever been told on my show. It's
What's
by
that?
Odin Vasco. So yeah, let me play it for you.
Wait. Before you play it, I just want to say, okay, Odin did a drive along singing for 4 minutes or whatever, and it got like, I don't know, 50 views or something in like a few hours. I'm like, the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, who wants to watch somebody do
don't
car
have his
karaoke?
voice.
Yeah,
don't
That's
have
gotta
Odin
be
is
what it is.
he's an accomplished musician.
Yeah.
See, there we go. That makes sense.
But he's also
I didn't
got
realize
great
that he
timing.
had like a whole musical thing going on.
Oh, dude, yeah, you should see. So, Kill Them Dead is
Yeah.
coming out next year. They're gonna
Yeah.
relaunch it in Kickstarter.
Can you hear
The
it?
music is freaking insane.
Man, you know who I would like to work with is Evely. I think that would be cool to get him to do like a soundtrack kind of
yeah.
stuff. That would be
Hell
so
yeah.
fun.
He's done music for me, and it's phenomenal.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like his music. I've listened to it. So
Mhm.
I don't know. He's a cool ass dude too. I like him. Plus, I
Yeah,
think
he
he's a
is.
bear. So, anyways, go ahead and play it. Not like that, Chris. Gosh. You know, when somebody says a bear, they're like bears before, sweaty, hairy gay men were known as like the Russian bear. Hello,
Yeah.
Anyways,
He'll
go ahead.
make you say niet.
Well, you dovetailed
yeah,
off
it's not-
of the
no.
slightly gay comment, so you know.
Nobody's wearing chaps. All right.
Sorry, Bonnie's been trying to play this clip.
Oh,
Poor
he
Bunny.
gave up. He's like,
He's like,
fuck
fuck
y'all.
you guys.
Now they're on assless chaps and bears. Fuck it.
He's like, I'm trying to bring class to this joint. You guys are all talking about fat hairy guys or what?
No, trust me, that joke was not the class that you're looking for. Trust me.
Oh,
It was just
I'm
beautiful.
sorry, buddy.
So it
I didn't
wasn't
mean to
as
ruin
good
it.
as-
Beautiful delivery.
Bears and chaps, huh?
Yeah.
Something like that.
How about? Yeah, all right.
No, it
All
wasn't
right, so
tearing
let's
the
clean the
sound
palate
anyway,
and talk
so
about
it
something
doesn't
else.
At least on the same line. Yeah.
So what do you got going forward next year then, T-Buns? Because you funded on preambles, right?
Yeah, fun.
And then
I changed.
When's the next one coming out?
Well, I'm planning on also doing a campaign on. I decided to do Indiegogo and Kickstarter because I just don't feel like that the book has gotten the attention that it deserves. So
No, I don't think it has either.
yeah. But I did the name change today based on marketing from a guy named Nick Axe. He goes by Nick Axe. He works with RJ from the
Critical Blast?
fourth age. No, the fourth age guy. RJ.
Oh, okay.
RJ the Island. Yeah. He's doing work for him, but he worked in marketing for a while, and I was on the stream with John's Long Box last night, and he was just like dropping dimes, and he's like, I've been trying to tell people, he's talking about, that we're not being targeted with what we're doing, and he's like, The reason why is because people won't lower their ego enough to do what's necessary, the necessary changes to the property
Yep.
to get it to sell.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I felt like he was aiming at me because I've been told that the name of my comic was clunky and that I needed to lose something.
Sure.
And I've been fighting against that because I'm like, well, it's this, for these reasons. And he kind of nailed me with that. So I was like, okay, well, if a name change is going to help it sell one more book, then let me do a name change. And and also, I didn't want to put it on Indiegogo or a Kickstarter because I was like, I'm going to be foiled FMC. But the truth of the matter is if this book has got to sell for me to have a chance to do more books.
Yeah.
And so if this book, no matter what my long-term plans are, I got to get this book to sell. So if I got to change a lot of stuff in the short term to get it to sell in the long term, then I just need to go ahead, bite the bullet and do it, And so so that's changed my plans for the year. But so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm I'm like, based on that feedback, I'm changing some things. So
that's cool. All right, but what about issue 2? How's that looking? Like,
I'm
supposed to
still
be being
working
started?
on. Well, I'm still working on getting issue 1 out. I don't have the resources to do more than one book at a time. I just don't. So
Yeah.
Until that changes, I've got it scripted. I just don't have it in production currently. But I do have book 1 is over halfway through. And I'm planning on.
When do you think that'll be
back
done?
Half of the book is going to start printing very shortly. Over 15 pages, over 32-page book. So.
So how long or when do you think of that? Are you projecting it to be finished?
Well, I was aiming for June, but I think I'm going to have to move it. I can't move it, now that I'm planning on doing, going on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So, but I've got the team in place. I just and I've got 2 possible editors that are friends of mine that I trust, and I lost my big editor, so he just disappeared. Still hadn't heard.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Norm Leinert just disappeared over the summer, and just. No
well,
word,
there's somebody who offers editing services.
Yeah, but I consider Daniel, but he's more of a text. He's more of a novel editor. So
I work on comic books too.
Okay, well, there you go.
And it's actually much cheaper than my novel service.
Less reading.
The most interesting thing, it's not so much that it's less reading, it's more that there's a bit of imagination that goes into it when you're visualizing and trying to observe the flow of a comic book script. Right. You have to imagine the scene, and that'll give you the insights that you need. But it's less actual physical work on my part. It's more me just sort of thinking it through and making sure that I visualize what they created the right way, and then adding a little extra detail here and there where needed. And so it doesn't take as much effort, which is why I don't charge as much for it. It's kind of bundled under my short stories thing. So
you said, you said bundled under my short. I was like, oh no, and you said story.
Well, yes. It's not a rejection of you. It's just I said that you were more of a novel guy because that's what you do is novels.
No, I've been working with a couple of guys that are in production of their first issues, and I've got, let's say, 3 clients that have concurrent stories going.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Besides, who could reject Daniel with that glorious hair? Gosh.
Oh,
well, he's always kept it up when I've been around.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he had it.
It's
right,
it's
you
too
were on-
hypnotic. I have to keep it
Yeah.
restrained most of the time.
You gotta pace yourself, man.
I thought he had a Billy Ray Cyrus thing going on, and now it's just like, whoa, I'm Fabio.
Much glory.
Fabio.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's me.
That's excellent.
Flicks it in slow
I
motion.
can't believe it's not butter. There you go.
It's hit in the face with a goose.
Fabio. That's fucking funny. What about you, Daniel? What are your plans for next year? Like, what do you got?
I have a
cooking?
lot. I have this weird obsession with overachieving now. So I have at least 3 novels planned.
What's up, Shadowpunk?
Howdy, Shadowpunk. I have at least 3 novels planned to work on. The final installment of the first arc of G Sedai, which will be G Sedai 3. Finishing out the Angel War, that's going to be coming. I'm currently working on Legacy of Heroes 2, the sequel book to my superhero novel, because when I wrote that, I had never considered making a comic book. So I'm like, I love superheroes. I can't draw. I'm going to write a book about superheroes. Yeah. And then I have a upcoming towards the end of this coming year, start of a new series that my daughter practically begged me to do, which I'm calling currently Modern Day Horrors. And it'll be Halloween themed. So every year, one book in this series will be released around the Halloween spooky period of the year. Each one is a modern retelling of classic monster stories.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
And then I'm hoping if I can get funded, I'll get at least 2 comics out next year. So I'll get issue number 2 and 3. If I don't get funded, I'll probably only get 1 out, unfortunately, because I'll have to pay for it out of pocket again. So
all right. So now, as an editor, do you use an editor?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Whew.
I know some people prefer to cut the cost and do it themselves, and they feel like they have the capability to do so. But from a developmental standpoint, yeah, everybody can check their stuff for typos. That's fine. But from a developmental standpoint, you need a set of unbiased eyes on what you're doing, whether it's beta readers or a professional editor. Professional editors tend to give you the low down dirty and not care what you think about their advice, as I do with all of my clients. But beta readers will work in a pinch if you gotta, scrape some coins together to make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, always get somebody else to look at it. They'll see things that you can't see because the story's in your head. What you want is for the rest of the world to be able to experience it like you can experience it in here.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, because when you've already seen the story, you already know all the small things coming in. You're not thinking that somebody new to it hasn't, like you kind of all assume like they see what you see kind of stuff, and that's not true.
Right. Exactly.
Like, wait a minute, what is this thing? Where did this come from? Yeah.
It's not like filmmaking where it's visual for everyone. So, they've created a movie, put it out there, and everybody can watch it. Text, and even to a certain extent, comic books requires a certain level of imagination involvement. So you have to be able to communicate what you see in your head fully to someone else.
Sure.
And that's why an editor is invaluable in that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to change it up just real quick. 1 second. Let me try to move this around because I do want to get to you, Chris, but you've got a lot going on, so I kind of want to give you some time. I want to check in real quick with. Let's take a look at. 1 second. Let's take a look at. Right-wing politics for a second. Let's see.
Oh no,
this will be fun. Yeah. Here we go.
Fuck each other in the streets.
Oops.
What the hell? What's that?
What?
Oh, I thought you were like, oh, we were supposed to see that.
I'm Charlie Kirk.
Here we go.
Breaking.
Yeah, can you hear that?
I'm Charlie
Yes.
Kirk, and I like cocaine.
Mhm.
up my nose, up my ass. I hang out with Candace. Yeah, Candace is great. I mean, she's great. She's a great friend. We like to go, go to stores. The dictators, the Palestine, will not let people fuck each other in the streets like they're supposed to do. Breaking today, the dictators of Palestine, the dictators, Israel, the best, everybody, the best. So much sodomy there, it's fucking great.
What the hell?
Meanwhile, Israel has massive, and I mean fucking massive gay pride parades where everyone has a giant dick. Are we just gonna stand here and not let everyone suck each other off in Palestine?
Boys.
Yeah, that's Charlie Kirk. There's some Charlie Kirk for you.
Damn.
Yeah, there's some. All right, and then to be equal, let's check in on left-wing politics. Let's see here.
Oh,
Let's see
no.
what they've got to say today.
Is it Charlie Kirk again?
Oh, here we go. That's what Marvel's giving. Or that's DC, right? Is that Cheetah chick?
Yeah, it looks like Cheetah.
Allegedly playing with herself in a comic book. Oh, that's great.
Oh, she's all flicking the bean.
Yeah.
Did she put some peanut butter down there for the cheetah?
Harsh.
Did you just say that? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, so I see both the alleged right wing and left wing are basically the same fucking thing. That's really fun.
Two wings of the same vulture.
Yeah. Anyways, so there's my politics corner. All right. Because like people, like some shows, like they get all into politics and shit, but it's like I can't get behind anybody, so I don't really see it.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then my other one was going to be talking about the Ripaverse video, but I don't know. We kind of already did, and it's like he's just in a totally different league. He's not an indie guy.
Well, that's something that like we need to kind of clarify is like if you have a warehouse, a remote warehouse, a faculty of employees, and can afford things like distribution, like mass distribution deals, and like action figures and stuff. You're a small corporation. You're a small business. You're not indie. Like at what point is there a distinction? And I would say an indie is like what Eastman and Laird did before.
Wouldn't a small business be indie though?
Well, at what point does a small business not become indie?
Yeah, that rephrasing
you know what I
the
mean?
question.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I think that when you can afford to pay a faculty, especially in the double digits and stuff, and you have remote warehouses and you have these resources, you're a corporation at that point. You could be a small one, but you're still a corporation. Indie
not
to
only
me
that,
is
but let me clarify it a little bit more. He is trying to compete with Marvel and DC. I'm not. I can't. So that's a very clear distinction.
Well, you don't have the resources to do that.
Right.
Right. Can you afford to get a factory line to do die cut or die cast action figures for your thing? I'm talking packaging, shipping, all that stuff.
No,
I can't.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, T-Bunny, you want to give it another try? This time I won't get into that topic.
Stop it.
All right, let's try it again.
Yeah.
One last hurrah.
Yeah, fire it up. Boys.
All right. We'll play it. Come on. Well.
Cool.
No. That's not
wow. The fates
I think I've seen this one.
Back it up.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't mean that to happen.
I like the spinning white circle.
There it is.
As long as two hands don't grab it from the sides.
Oh god. Uh-oh.
All right. You hear it?
No audio.
No audio.
Right? And here we are. Ugh.
Welcome to StreamYard.
What show is that you're on?
I don't. Well, I think T-Bunny can hear it, but we can't. So
But we can't.
Yeah.
Well, at least T-Bunny can enjoy it.
There appears to be closed captioning at the top, but I can't read it.
Oh, you can't see it?
No,
Yeah,
You can't
we
say
can't
it?
hear it.
we can't
Well,
hear it.
shit.
Yeah.
Can't hear it.
Nani.
never mind. Sorry.
That's how I felt.
StreamYards.
Damn it!
That's funny.
I'm sorry. It's StreamYards. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. So isn't
No, what Odin
OBS?
said.
Isn't that an,
We were talking about parental guidance.
you talking?
Well,
what's that?
I'm going to try OBS. I'm tired of StreamYards, but I'm going to try through OBS. I mean, I'm tired of StreamYards. I mean, it's complicated, but I'd rather something work. But what basically the joke was, Odin brought it up, but we're talking about parental guidance. It's suggested. It's suggested 13 is just the number, whatever. Anyway, but then I say, because things get awkward, if your parents walk in on you jacking off, and he's like, oh, it didn't get more awkward than that. He says, I remember when I walked in on my parents jacking or having sex. He said it was the most awkward half hour of my life.
Oh my God!
I can't tell it like he
Sad
did
watch.
though. He had a cigarette. He just like, it's
Most awkward 30 minutes of my life.
He's like, yeah, just the way he said it was like, yeah, it don't get more awkward than that,
Oh, dude.
damn.
But,
The fucking delivery, man.
yeah,
Sometimes it's all
it's
you need.
deadpanned.
Yeah.
I know he borrowed it from another comedian or whatever, but he the way he just did it, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
that's
Norm
totally
Macdonald
fine.
joke.
It's like I had another one where a Gobby guy from over in England. He's a known Doctor Who fan,
Yeah.
and asked him a question about Doctor Who, and we kind of looked at him and he's like, who gives a shit? It's like, oh wow,
I mean,
man.
especially now. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, I mean, he just watched the specials over the weekend, and he was done with it. And,
Dude,
I just walked right into the buzzsaw,
no, as somebody that because my dad's side of the family, they're all Brits, so I grew up watching, the third Doctor was the one that I first saw, and I big fan of it. Whatever, it's cheap sci-fi. It was limited by its budget, and that was part of the charm. And then after the David Tennant era, and we started getting into the Matt Smith era, I started seeing the writing on the wall, and I'm like, why is there this abusive, castrating harpy with her little pet eunuch there? What is this? This is look, they're shitting all over men for some. What is going on? And then they the Doctor after that started getting into blackwashing history. They're like, is the future all female? One can only hope. And I'm like, what the fuck is this crap? I was out. And then when they went full femtard and actually made the Doctor a woman, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Apparently they retconned it where the Pine Sol lady was the first Doctor Who or something. It was all sorts of fucked up. And I'm like, I'm glad I bailed when I did, because I don't want to see the mutilated corpse of one of my things I enjoyed just being dragged through the street.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched some old Doctor Who when I was a a young teenager at midnight on PBS or something, right? Because I happened to be up and I saw it. And I liked all that real low budget sci-fi stuff. I love my parents. I remember my parents was like, "What are you fucking watching?" And I mean, I get it from my mom, but even my dad was like that. And my dad, he's a bit of a nerdy guy or whatever. And even he was like, "What the fuck is this?" But the David Tennant era, I guess I keep hearing that one is really good. So
yeah, it had one of the best episodes in it. It was.
Wait, is it the one where he talks to the devil or some shit?
No, they had
that's
this
the one
called,
I've heard was really good.
That's the Satan Pit's pretty good, but the one he's talking about
Blink.
is Blink.
Yeah. So the reason why
Weeping
Blink is the reason why Blink is really good, especially for the uninitiated, is because it doesn't star Doctor Who. It's not about him.
No.
It's about these two other normal people. It's like telling a Sherlock Holmes story where the only character that's in it is Watson. And you're getting that ground level view of just how powerful this guy is.
Yeah.
And you start seeing these really cool mysteries unfolding where like these people are getting like DVDs and there's this weird guy on the DVD with like little bits of it. And it looks like he's responding or talking to somebody. You don't know what it is. And then somebody put them all together and they started the thing started playing. And it was literally a real-time conversation as if the doctor was talking to the people that put the thing together. And they're like, how are you doing this? And he's like, because I'm the master of time and space, motherfucker. I was like, holy shit. Like, and and like if that was the only episode of Doctor Who you'd ever see, then I think you could walk away with it going, wow, that's a good series.
Well, the Ninth Doctor had a really good these two really great episodes. Mm-hmm. And it was The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances.
Yep.
And the reason why they're so good is, I mean, they're set in World War II England, right? And it's about, you know, he arrives, you know, chasing the ship, you know, and it crash lands sometime the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And he arrives and it's this strangely deserted streets, and there's this little boy who's walking around the streets, and he's incredibly powerful somehow, and he's wearing a gas mask.
Are you my mummy?
Yep.
And that's what he keeps asking. Are you my mummy? And people are just terrified and running from him. And the denouement of the two episodes is one of the most brilliant wrap ups that I've ever seen in fiction, because they dotted every I, it crossed every T. It all made sense, you know, and there's things that were foreshadowed, like in the first moments of the whole entire two episodes that paid off at the end.
Yeah, no dangling participles.
No, you know, this modern
unless
day
you count Jack Harkness.
There you go.
God.
Right. Well, yeah, he's definitely a dangler. Anyway, but there's this moment where something happens with the Doctor that has never happened in the history of the show, and it's this moment of just pure joy that he has that has never been in any other moment in the show.
You jerked off by a hooker in an alley or what? Sorry, is that too much?
Something like that. Something like that.
I'm sorry. I live in a dark place. You look at me.
Yeah, something a little more wholesome, but you know.
Yeah, she used a glove.
Oh God.
You know, as wholesome as anything can be with John Barrowman nearby.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Where did he keep that gun?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that episode.
If I come here again, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the old Highlander TV show. It's like, where did he put his sword? Like, where has he been carrying his sword? Yeah.
He's Duncan McLeod of the Kelly McLeod. You know?
Yeah,
he is. He definitely is. Anyways,
it's like,
Chris, I guess.
How's this show going to end? How's this show going to end? They're going to sword fight. Who's going to die? Who's going to die? Who's going to die?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, every week.
Well, and I considered going back and rewatching it because I saw Highlander in my thread, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh, there's a show I used to like. And I remember the biggest problem I had with that show was like, why are there so many fucking immortals? Like, it's every episode he has to fight and kill an immortal. And I was like, you know, that was the most aggravating part about it. It's like, you don't have to. I would rather see stories where it's just him having to fucking live amongst mortals and deal with their bullshit. It sounded more.
Why not have like one immortal per season?
Yeah,
or a couple or something. Yeah, make him more mysterious.
And have
remember when they made Richie? They made like the basically the Dr. Watson of the story on Immortal too, and it was like, come on,
not a Dr. Watson. He was the plucky sidekick.
Oh yeah, that's true.
At most, he was Jimmy Olsen.
He was the Jimmy
Olsen. There you go. That's a perfect. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Although he was cool because he like raced bikes and shit. That was pretty bad.
Well, the series opened with him robbing from the antique store, and that was how it was like, oh shit! Like, so it was a human view, a ground level view of who the Highlanders were. And
the
only reason to watch that show was Mythos. Because I mean, he was like how I'd imagine an immortal would be after a while, just over this shit. Completely over this shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was probably my favorite character for a while as well.
Yeah.
And but that's just it. There's a lot I don't remember, so I kind of
Right.
wanted because I remember I was going through a thread and reading different people's comments and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I remember there's a lot of reminiscence and nostalgia. I was like, that does sound kind of cool, just to kind of go back and look at it.
Self-awareness to that character is like, yeah, I was in a monastery in the Middle Ages. Yeah, okay, that happened, you know?
Right?
I was going through a phase.
I was a
pretty
Roman
much.
centurion, and then I was in a monastery for a
That's
couple
funny.
of decades. So
Yeah, I don't know.
been there, done that. Been there, done
It's just
that.
it's like I think that's just it would be a really cool premise, for a story that I don't think that I don't know. I haven't really seen, but I don't watch or I don't read a shit ton of books and media. So maybe there's a story out there that really does that well. But I think it'd be fun, or like the immortal from forever, right? He's been in all these battles and he's lived all these lives and he's done all these things. I think it would be interesting what that person would be like trying to deal with today. So I know that premise has been done probably to death, but I find it interesting. And I think it would be cool to try to approach. Because I remember there was this one comic that came out, and I don't know what happened to it, but I remember it was like issue 1 or 2. I had issue 1, and it was, who's it? The John Prophet was the dude's name. And I can't remember the name of the fucking book. It might have been Prophet, but that was a really cool idea. And I don't know what they did with it. But anyways. I always wanted to do that as well. I was like, man, that would be cool. He's, or what is it? Not Doc Savage, the Noble Savage. Is that his name? Where he's been around forever. And,
Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage. Yeah. Like those kinds of characters I find really interesting. I think you could tell more stories than
the only
I've
person
seen.
that's ever made Immortals boring is Anne Rice.
Yeah. They're all emos.
They're all emo. Every damn one of them's emo. It's like you think some emotional maturity would creep in after 2,000 years.
Well, I mean, from my understanding, it was just like a retelling of 70s gay culture. So
yeah.
What it is. Well, she hung out around a bunch of gays, and she in her story she just made turned them into vampires. So it's the same.
Exactly.
It's the same
Sunlight
underground.
HIV? What?
It's that same underground, aesthetic. It's like, well, we can't tell anybody that we're gay. So it was a simpler time in the 70s.
I mean.
It's very don't ask, don't tell there for a while.
You stole a woman from me in the 1930s. I'm gonna haunt you for 40, 50 years. It's just like,
yeah,
dude. Of course they're bored. But it's a little petty.
I tried reading those because I really liked the Interview with the Vampire movie, and somebody had a copy of Lestat walking around, and so I grabbed it, and I was like, "This is too gay. I can't. This is like." It's a gay fantasy, and I was probably
like a crucifix to a vampire. Like,
I'm there. Okay. It's okay. And then it was like gay. I'm like, all right, never mind.
The only thing it describes the vampires more thoroughly is the Twilight series.
Oh God!
The 3rd chapter on how alabaster Edward's skin is, and I was out.
But it sparkles.
It sparkles. He sparkles.
I can't, it's too much of a female fantasy for me.
Yeah.
It's like if they had Beauty and the Beast as a novel, I couldn't read that either.
Well, she wanted the Fae, and they wouldn't publish it because.
Oh yeah. Originally it's supposed to be fairies.
Fairies, yeah, and then and it's like she's like, I don't like vampires. I don't want vampires, and they're like, well, vampires sell, so you have to change everything to vampires. And so she's like, she made sparkling vampires.
Oh,
so there you go.
Yeah, they're
That's why her
basically
vampires sparkled.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh. What are you gonna do? That's all right. Good for her.
They sparkle. Everybody's fabulous.
Not only that, but she didn't have anybody help promote her. She came out of nowhere. Everybody loved it. Everybody heard about it without anybody promoting it. And so she's not a communist. So that's great.
Yeah, Joe Rowling, man, telling those Harry Potter bedtime stories to her kids. Yeah, it just miraculously became a bestseller, like out of nowhere, man. Like,
yep, all by herself.
Definitely did not take 10 years.
No.
Well, because all it takes is just quality, right? All it takes is have really high quality and whatever that means, and it will sell no matter what. No matter what, whether or not people see it to even be able to buy it, it doesn't matter. They will just know it's there and they will pick it up because they know it's great.
Well, we were talking about world building and on my show, and I had James Craik on there, right? And I don't know if he was having a bad night or what was going on with him, but maybe he's just a Harry Potter hater. But he was like, yeah, there's no world building in Harry Potter, and I was like, are you what? Freaking like amusement park based on that damn book. You say I don't know why he was up his ass that night. I think he's just like he's just being a snob about it. He's like, oh, there's no world building in Harry Potter. I was like, there's people who live in that world, man.
Yeah.
There's more fan fiction devoted to Harry Potter than any other subject on the planet.
It's crazy how crazy it ran. Like Harry Potter is insane, and I still can't get into it. I don't know if it's because of the made up willy wiggy fucking English words play that she does or what, but not only that, but like the magic system, at least in the movies.
You're just a muggle.
the magic system in the movies was just dumb. Like it didn't make any sense.
Well, it was soft.
You have like
soft magic.
Two spells. They basically can do whatever you want.
That's Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Yeah, it's I didn't find it very interesting.
I actually wrote a sequel to the book, and I actually had my own fan fiction site for a while.
Oh shit! Here it comes. I knew it. I had a feeling about you, Bunny.
In certain circles, I'm a pretty big deal. Okay.
Yeah. The Harry Potter fan fiction. Everybody knows about T-Bunny. Okay.
There you go. Everybody knows. Yeah. Ask them about Bartimus Crotchety, and I know exactly who that is.
Shit. Whoa.
And here I was going to make a joke about pulling you out of the sorting hat.
Yeah.
Actually, the reason why my fiction took off is because there was one house out of the 4 that J.K. Rowling never did anything with, and that was Hufflepuff. She just had this disdain for Hufflepuff. She never went down to the ready room, or where they stayed is behind the kitchen somewhere. And so I created that world. I saw a niche there, and so I created that world, and I put Albus Potter, Scorpius Malfoy, and Rose down, and Weasley and down in there, and I made them kind of like their own trio, and people were like, "Why didn't I ever think this, before?" But J.K. she did an interview, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, this is what it looks like." She built this world down there, and then she barely used the house. She barely used it, and I was like, "It's just sitting there." And by the way, you got the snobby, pure bloods Slytherin, right? You got the overbearing, brave to a fault Gryffindors. And then you got the snooty, bookworms Ravenclaw. But then Hufflepuff takes everybody. They don't really have any. And I was like, look at the potential of that shit.
There he is. Sorry.
Yeah. We said boobs.
We talked about boobs earlier and mentioned his name, and
he's late. He's actually late. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, JK just left this door open, and nobody writes. I used to sort through fan fiction, and I would never hardly see any stories out of Hufflepuff. And so I was like, wide open. And so I filled that niche, and for a little while, it's a pretty big deal down there. There you go.
Yeah.
What boobs?
Yeah, what boobs? Yeah. Well, we were saying that you really got to kick it up a notch, and instead of 3, we're gonna do 4 boobs. We're just gonna start having boobs on everything to help sell.
There you go.
Help sell the books.
And as a matter of fact, there's 4 boobs right now. So there you go.
Yay!
Fuck yeah!
One's an innie, one's an outie.
Oh shit!
No, you're the head boob. He's the head boob. So there you go.
All right, so All right, Bunny. How long were you writing Harry Potter fanfic?
Well, I wrote for quite a while, but I kind of like branched out into
Twilight.
no Sherlock Holmes. Also did a really well thought of mash fic, and I even did a Big Bang Theory fiction fic, and that was made the rounds, So I mean, I have some game, man. I have a little bit of game, so there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway. But it was just a challenge to be able to write in somebody else's world and follow the rules of that world, but still make a compelling story.
I mean, I disagree that there's a lot of rules in that world, but that's fine. I don't know. Maybe it's just the magic system that really annoyed the shit out of me. But I'm not going to try to be a James Drake about it.
Trust me, if you ever try to write in the Harry Potter universe, there are people who are Potter nuts that know exactly.
I believe you.
The Potterheads.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's one thing that annoyed the shit out of me. Okay, now his father was there's on the Quidditch field. There's chasers, there's seekers, there's beaters, and the keeper, right? Okay.
Yeah, sounds like dating in my 20s.
There you go. Now see, Harry Potter beaters. Right. Well, see, there's like one seeker, and Harry Potter was the seeker, right? But in the movies, they made his father a seeker also, but his father was in the books a chaser, and I was based on the books, and so I had where he was like listed as a chaser in a trophy case, and I had so many people come after me. Oh my God, so many people come after me, and I was like, I can tell you only watch the movies, okay? I was like, read a book sometime, okay?
Yeah.
And I was like, that they did come from a book, right? You are aware that they came from a book, right?
No.
Yeah.
So really not.
Chris Price here, he's a buddy of mine, and he was like, oh, you should try reading the books because he's heard my complaints about Potter before. Yeah. He's like, that's just the movies. You should check out the books and stuff. But
I didn't make it past. I didn't make it all the way through book 2. It's kind of been in suspension. So
really, so you were writing all this stuff, and you only got to like the second book.
I only got to like midway through the second book. Yeah.
Whoa, I'm surprised, and yet you still ran with it. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
whatever sparks the imagination, I suppose.
If anybody wants to read it, it's called Albus Potter and the Year of the Badger. What it's called.
Where can they find it? Because it sounds Chris might read it.
Fanfiction.com. Under Bartimus Crotchety. Bartimas Crotchety. There you go. Well, there was a character called Bartimus Crouch, and so I just took it Bartimus Crotchety.
Berserk is cooler than Harry Potter. That's probably
Harry Potter
true.
and the duel with guts.
There you go. There you go.
Patronus.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of funny that you brought it up because my 12-year-old, I saw the first Harry Potter book sitting on my coffee table, and I'm like, wait a minute. And he's like, yeah, they want to read through Harry Potter. So apparently my kids will be reading Harry Potter pretty soon. So I get to hear all about it because like they've ran through all the movies a couple of times over the past, I don't know, 5 years or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so she likes that world and all that stuff. That's cool. Not a problem with that.
Well, and, prepare if they get to the end, prepare for some tears over Dobby. I'll just say that much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I bet. They already like Dobby, so
that's a good
punch. Spooge sock.
That's a good punch. Yeah.
Oh God!
What the hell has gotten into you, Chris?
Oh yeah, Chris.
Oh wait. I saw the movie. You can't put that one over on me. I saw it. I saw what happened.
Allegedly,
Dobby found your spooge sock under your bed.
Master has given Dobby his sock.
Oh. Why does Master's sock crinkle?
Yeah. Why does it sound like a bag of chips?
That sock was a little stiff. By the way,
Dobby thought
it came off Harry Potter's foot. By the way.
Yeah. So, all right. let's shift gears a little bit here. Chris,
I
wanted
have
talk-
to get going.
Okay.
So I will say goodnight to you, gentlemen.
Right on.
And,
See you, Daniel. And your
Yeah, have a good one, man.
your golden locks. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off goes.
I like it. Let's do one of these. Hey, before you go though, I just want to suggest to you get Chris. There he is. Get Chris on your show on Iron Age Nights or whatever it is.
He's
Just,
like, oh hell no.
it would be
Talking
great.
about crispy
I really
sausage.
think you guys would like him and everything. So, and so would the Iron Age and everything. So
yeah,
yeah,
I
that would
will
be
talk
awesome.
to the boys. I mean, Royce was here earlier. I don't know if he's
Sure.
still watching, but I will talk to them about it very soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no,
I've been up since
no.
5 o'clock in the morning, and
no.
it is like I think 7:30 now. So I need to eat some food and get settled. So,
Right on.
gentlemen, looking forward to 2024 with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Good luck with the rest of the year. Hopefully nothing bad goes down, and good luck with next year as well.
Knock on wood.
I'm sure we'll be around each other.
By the way, Daniel, that's called foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
for
Way to go,
the rest of the
Aaron.
year.
Woo!
So
If you
anyway,
don't see
Hopefully
me
nothing
again, it's Buddy's
bad
fault.
happens.
it is.
No,
See you, Daniel.
that's all
Thanks
right.
for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, see you, man.
Bye, man.
Let me see.
Dope.
Oh, well.
Let me let everybody know we're still going.
Nobody here but us chickens.
This is our hiding spot. Oh no.
There we go. Just letting people know that they can come join us.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess all right. So I've been waiting for this, and I'm sorry that I put it off for so long. But let's see some of that beautiful bean footage of your product that you've been working on. Do you have any of that ready to go?
You talking to me?
yeah. I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I can let me
Yeah, share that. Because like you're like doing next level shit. You know, I've said that before, and it's like, you know, you've got the comic and all that stuff. And in my outsider opinion, and I'm not trying to shit on anything, I think that if you were to build up the tabletop stuff and, you know, more than the comic right now, that might help. But I know that the tabletop stuff isn't finished. So you're kind of like, you know, catch 22 on that. So.
Well, here's the thing is, I was originally working on the tabletop stuff, and I did it because, you know, again, I started the tabletop game back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And, you know, I initially wanted to get out my role-playing game, but, you know, obviously with the you know, I guess the prevalence of video games and stuff. And when I went and worked in video games, you know, the idea of a pen and paper analog offline, you know, game started to lose its luster. And
of course, makes sense. It's
when
it's the antithesis, right?
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, tabletop role playing games were the first video games. I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, but they obviously, it's sad because
And they were all open world.
yeah, they were all sandboxes. They were all what is it, railroading, like the whole shebang. The only problem though is a lot of like younger generations who have grown up with video games in their lives bring their biases into the tabletop world now. And D&D 4th edition was a scary representation of that, where they literally just made an MMO in game mechanic, like dice format, where the whole beauty of a tabletop role-playing game is that it's free form and collaborative. I mean, it's an improvisation. It's, you know, it's collaborative storytelling. It's you know, it's spontaneous things that video games, you know, with a limited CPU and stuff just can't, you know, they can't provide. And when I left video game development, you know, and I went into a more stable industry, I was creatively constipated. It was like, shit, like, you know, I got the stable job now, but like, I'm not doing anything that's like creative anymore, you know? So
yeah, you're singing my tune.
Yeah. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a passion project and finally release this baby after freaking 30 years of sitting in storage.
Yeah,
And
to
I
the
looked
least.
through it all and stuff, and I talked to one of my engineering friends. He goes over at Blizzard, and somehow the conversation went to, why was World of Warcraft such a famous or such a successful MMO out of the gate? And the reason for that is because World of Warcraft was built upon the pedigree of so many other games and so much more media before it even launched. So you already had an install base. You already had people that were interested in playing World of Warcraft because they've played the previous games, they've read the previous novels, they got all that stuff. So they're like, okay, I can finally set foot into this world virtually that I've been reading about for years,
Yeah.
And that was what sparked it. I'm like, shit, maybe I can just. I looked over at this giant travel size bin that I had, big storage container full of notes, and what I had were called the chronicles of all the recorded game sessions. And I was like, you know what? This could actually make a decent story. Like it's not like the whole point of Infinitale. Like, why the hell would you make your own tabletop role playing game system when there's so many ones out there? And it was, well, one of the kind of the pillars that sets itself as slightly unique is that, it's literally infinite and tale, the portmanteau put together, where, it explores collaborative storytelling. Sure, you can completely throw that whole concept out when you're playing Infinitale and just go for the mechanics, like the loot chasing or the board with the figures and all that shit. If you want to go straight combat, you can totally do that. But this system actually facilitates storytelling. And it was an experiment, because, I was like, well, as a barely literate 12-year-old, when I first started this thing, I was like, how can I tell stories? How can I write stories and all this stuff when I'm completely ill-equipped to do so? And it was like, well, you can rely on others. You can have other people help tell you this, help tell your story. And that's what I did. And that's what Infinitale Chronicles.
Corey says never played a tabletop game. You should. Yeah. You should at least play one time. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a great exercise in creativity and storytelling,
especially with him as an artist. I think that it would be really fun to explore his imagination and stuff like that. So
hell yeah.
Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt. Too bad.
Oh no worries. So I looked at all of the notes that I had taken over the years, and I was like, maybe I could make that story. And again, going back to that conversation I had with my engineering friend, I could give that historical primer or that introduction into the world of Infinitale through those recorded or through those chronicled sessions. And that's where the birth of Infinitale Chronicles came from. These are literally the chronicled stories of those game sessions. And it's hell. And to prove that it's actually a successful formula, you can look at things like the Record of Lodos Saga, because that's all that was. And I mean, to a lesser degree, that's what Vox Machina is, or whatever it's called now. The Critical Role guys. Like, there's merit in doing that. And if you look at something like George Lucas, when he tries to write romance, he fails miserably because the dude doesn't know it. Like, rule 101: only write what you know. Because people that know more than you, when they read this, are going to be like, "This is terrible." You're not like sand, you're soft.
No, he's a technical guy. Yeah, he doesn't express emotion well. I've seen his interviews.
Well, with that said, I relied on my players to tell these stories. Like, I had the in the Infinitale gaming system, they're not called dungeon masters or game masters, they're called narrators. And the way that you set it up is you have scenes, and then you go through the different plot points, and then you go into the different story arcs or whatever. You have your introduction, your rising action, your climax, your descending action, all that stuff. And when we were having these game sessions, the character here that you see, Ashlyn, that was played by a female player. Like, that's I took what she said, and when we were deciding character creation and stuff, there was a lot of discussions involved. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm going to be the murder hobo that meets up at the bar and kicks the shit out of orcs in a cave. It was like, well, what could we do for stories? And again, this came before kind of Google and the whole internet. I basically had full reign of the Pelham Public Library, and I just grabbed all sorts of books that were like the various mythologies, everything from Finland's the Kalevala to Snorri Sturluson's Icelandic sagas, the Volsung sagas, all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, this would be badass if we just like did like a fusion, like, you know, took all the cool shit out of this and made something that wasn't just a copy of a copy, the way that we see a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons inspired things where, you know, Warcraft is essentially Warhammer, you know, and so on. And it was like, well, they all kind of owe their inspiration from Lord of the Rings. And I was like, well, I want to see what inspired Lord of the Rings. So I went there. And when you give it to people who haven't read this shit, and you got these playing characters that are acting through things that they've never heard before, and they're experiencing it, you get a genuine reaction out of it. And I was like, wow, let's capture that and put that down on paper. And that's, you know, we started with you know, this concept of there are these two worlds, and in the gaming world, that when we released the tabletop game, it's actually like thousands of years after the events of the Infinitel Chronicles. And the idea is that playing world is for you to vandalize however you want. It's for you to leave your own stink on it. I'm not going to create a world and say, this is my world, you have to do it this way. No, it's here's the history. Here's how things worked before. Here are the stories of the heroes and the villains. And either they're dead or their legacies have moved on. And now here's your sandbox. Make your story.
But the most important thing, Chris, is, are you being inclusive?
Actually, I'm being incredibly racist. Like I have evil races. I have the whole shebang. Like everything that would make Wizards of the Coast shit themselves, I proudly present in this game. But so on my website, you can check out the. So this is the first book, the one that was crowdfunded on Indiegogo back in 2021, and you can buy it. You can go over to Amazon, and you know, pick it up for yourself if you want.
Yes.
You have to wait or
I need to get that cover. I don't have that cover.
Oh yeah, this one's by Nalia Hale, man. She freaking rocks.
Yeah, I do like it.
And yeah, if you're, you know, unsure about the content of the book, you know, you're like, I don't want to freaking blow money on something that's sight unseen. You know, you got the first 15 pages
glorious
for free here.
See, I love that. I love all that.
That looks so much like ElfQuest.
Actually, was an inspiration.
I figured. You wore that on your sleeve, man. That's definitely got ElfQuest all over it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like a like. There's.
I'm not saying it's a knockoff. I'm just saying that it's very clear.
Inspired, yeah.
Well, you could also say the same about Warcraft, about Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
ElfQuest is an OG. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. But you can even so book 2 here that we're planning to launch at the Q1, Q2 of next year. One of the cool things that we're doing about this is we're kind of doubling up on everything this time. So instead of just giving you what the original team provided for book 1, we're also going a step further and giving an alternative art team's depiction of that same story. So book 2 has a variant books. So it's the same story. It's just told by a different art team. So you get 2 different artistic views into the same universe. So and that's going to be kind of a test to see which
of our
2 approaches. Hey,
we were talking about you earlier.
Yes, we were. Which two of these approaches will be optimal? Do we go with the original or do we go with the alternate art style? And then in addition to that, we're actually kind of going even further with.
Oh God, what was that folder? Just kidding.
Well, this is the manga edition, which combines both books 1 and 2, and it's all in grayscale, and it's the Jumiko no Taisen, or the War of the Trees, volume 1, and it reads like manga right to left. So, hopefully, we can, kind of tap into 3 different markets here, or 2 different markets for that matter. If you want the full color Western comic style, you can do so and grab that. Or if you want to go the black and white, smaller, compact manga style, you can do that as well. And I mean, I think we all know manga is eating our lunch here in the West. So this will be an experiment to see if we can get Infinitel into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Western comics are sniffing their own farts. I mean, they are just too big to fail mentality. and it doesn't matter what they put out, right? You know, and the ESG money and all that other garbage.
Quick plug, right quick. If you guys haven't subscribed to Nerd Wars, he's got the best edited videos that I've seen on the net. I mean,
really,
Nerd
Wars, you got it.
They're incredible videos. Check him out. Trust me.
I believe you. How challenging was it to reorient the book into manga? For Chris, not at all. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing a lot of pre-press work for people behind the scenes here in the indie sphere. And yeah, I mean, you got to copy it in InDesign, some Photoshop, and yeah. I mean, I'm going to even be lettering the manga edition, so you know, it hasn't been too much of a challenge.
Yeah, it's a little bit more involved than just reversing the script, right?
Yeah. There's all. In fact, let me see if I can.
Yeah, because we had talked about it this like a month or two ago, and because I was like, well, you know, I want to do a black and white version of Immortal Rising to get it out and sell it for like $2, and you know, do like a traditional 24 or 5 page comic, send it out black and white with a color cover, and then you know, to kind of to not necessarily to be able to compete with manga because it's a different animal, but just to make it more affordable and so people can see it, and then they'll be like, oh, let me check out, you know, the full color boutique when, you know, when the campaign comes out. Well, this fucking smart dude was like, well, I'm just going to do a manga version of mine. And so, it looks great.
Oh,
well, you know, there's something I've been talking about for about, for a few months now. And that is right now, the big pool of normies is looking for something different. And they are looking, and when they find something different, that person really has a shot at it. I mean, Oliver Anthony went from the backwoods of Virginia to opening up the Grand Ole Opera the other night in less than a year.
Yeah.
And all it,
I mean, I think his dad's like the lawyer of Joe Rogan, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, I know you think he's a plant and everything, but anyway,
yeah, about a plant,
even if he is actually genuine, okay. I mean, we're just going to presuppose he's actually genuine and not a plant.
Yes,
okay.
I will not challenge you on this. Go ahead.
Okay, but I'm just saying that anything that catches their eye that's different and genuine has got a shot at big time. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean. And you're seeing this all over the place. I mean, like the movie Sound of Freedom it's a $14 million movie made by a bunch of people in South America. It sat on the shelf for 5 years, but when they finally got control of it and they put it out to the people, people saw something genuine in it, and it beat Indiana Jones 5 on the 4th of July weekend. Okay, and so it's just that anybody that steps away from the pack, and Finitail looks like something that could really launch into the stratosphere. But anything made with love, made with any kind of purity of thought, any kind of genuineness, has really got a shot in this culture.
Yeah,
and it's just like, who's going to be next? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
according to Eric July, you're not allowed to promote yourself. You just like come out of nowhere and you're an immediate success. So, wait, no, it's 17 years of leveraging audiences.
Dude, I don't have 17 years. Like, I'm lucky if I have 10.
Fucking jackass. Anyway,
but,
sorry.
So, just to kind of show, based on what Patty was
not a fan. Anyway,
so here is what the original Second Genesis.
Let me solo you.
Pages looked like. So we have it's all in color, and it reads left to right. We've got the nice little narration and the full color image, and what we're seeing here is the manga version, and as you can see, it's anchored more to the right because it's for it's from right to left reading. And you go into the next page and you've got.
Now, how did that affect, because like caption layout, it affects the art layout as well. So you already had the art already all done. And I don't know how you approach that with moving the captions around and all that, but did that affect the art at all? Like Did it change anything where you're like, shit, I need to, it kind of isn't as good as the other version just because, it wasn't made for manga? Does that make sense?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot, like we did some I did some flipping, so like as you can see here.
Oh, I see. Like reverse image.
Yeah, and I had to throw in a lot of zipatones.
Did you just zoom into his crotch? What was that about?
See on her, she's got zipatones for shading. Because zipatones you got to do correctly, otherwise you get something called moire patterns, where it looks the hatch gets all messed up. But again, we've got the narration right anchored, and we go back to how it appears here. It looks slightly different. And, and again, it's designed.
It's a whole nother book.
Yeah, well, somewhat. I mean,
same story.
Here's where it gets interesting, though. So in manga, they leverage a lot of visual or shorthand with kanji and Japanese words. Yeah. So crack, so we've got the egg cracking, and that's actually.
Oh, okay. Damn, you even went into the kanji. Fuck.
So desu ne. Yeah, and it looks slightly different, but again, coming in from here, we've got
like my girlfriend when I was horny. She's like, "Oh no,
put it back in your pants!" Ah!
This is looming shadow.
But yeah, so we we approached it from that perspective, or I should say, I did, where there's a lot of switcheroo, a lot of mirroring, and a lot of making it so that it flows correctly from that right to left format. Some of the images I may need to touch up. Like, I don't like how this was brutal. The feedback I got from some of the character designs from the initial Second Genesis book, my proofreader was less than diplomatic with some of his feedback, and I was like, dude, like I can't tell my artist that because
he's like, it's shit.
But yeah, so that's what we're hoping to do with Jumaku no Taisen, the War of the Trees, which is a combination of books 1 and 2 in black and white. So in the book 2 campaign, you can get both Second Genesis and Seeds of Defiance, which is this second book that we'll be launching together in black and white and in that right to left smaller manga format, because the manga books are actually considerably smaller. They're like VHS cassette sizes versus your standard comic book dimensions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want the full color, the filet mignon experience, it comes in 2 flavors here. You've got the Team A, and then you've got Team B. So same story, just with 2 different art teams. And it'll be an interesting experiment to see which of those three books sells the most, especially in today's economy.
Okay, I got a question.
Let
me, or I should say, a demand. Let me see that fucking the map that you've been working on, the fucking the textiles and all that shit, or whatever. Yeah. I want to see that stuff.
So yeah, I mean, you want to talk about world building, man? We've had 30 years to do this one. So we have the world of Esperia, the continent of Foithla, and I got some merchandise shots. So first thing is this what it looked like when it arrived right out of the mail. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, it's all on canvas and everything.
Damn.
And I think it's the Asian in me, but that's my convention banner. But I also like the experience of opening it up for yourself. So I made like a little packaging. It's all folded and nice, and 16 by 20 canvas thing. And then where's it? On the back, you even get a nice little blurb, little lore blurb about the seven sovereignties of Foithla.
Shit.
And this is what it looks like framed. So, pardon the reflection, but I have a cartography wall in my house, and it's got like this. It's got Fiendish's map. It's got Blood Realms map. It's got
so maps are a thing, huh? I should do that. Well, that's what in the reviews that I've been posting from different people. of Immortal Rising, they're like, oh, look at the map at the beginning of the book. So I like what you're doing. Patty says, if the manga outsells, do you think you'll format to that more often?
Oh, hell yeah.
I assume, yeah.
Yeah, if that's what the market wants, I mean, I'll be happy. Like, to me, the most important thing is to get the story out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this thing's been sitting here for over 30 years now.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to get it out before I expire.
Wait a second, let me pull that up.
Yeah,
Look at you. You got a fucking merchandise rack in your house.
yeah, they got the
great.
trading cards. In fact, let's see it's my trading card box or collectible card box. Do I have?
Wait a minute. So you have your own warehouse, huh? Okay.
Yeah, in my living room.
I heard all that shit you were talking about July. Now I see it's because really you're jealous. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I'm seething with envy. But as you can see, like, I got my spinner rack here, and that's not Infinitail at all. I mean, there's Fiendish, there's Reign of Ages. I see a book here. I can't figure out what that one is. Something Rising. I'm not sure. London Gothic.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that surprisingly, when you organize it like this, it makes fulfillment super easy. Like, that's one thing I learned doing this all by myself, was that you really need to get efficient, because I kind of prided myself on the fact that nobody had to wait to get the book that they backed when the campaign was launched. That's why it's taking me 2 years now to get this goddamn campaign kicked off, is because I want to have a product to ask people for money, not an idea. And when that campaign launches, it's going to be more of a tally to see how many or how big the print run will be. It won't be to, make somebody wait a year or more, sometimes years.
Late books.
Like, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I'm a backer as well. I mean, you can tell that by seeing my my spinner rack collection, that I'm approaching this from a customer's perspective as well.
I hope that's all tax write-offs. Market research.
It's, well, actually, when I was in the video game industry, every video game I bought was, but
market research.
Yeah, goddamn, I miss those days. But I want to make sure that when I launch this thing, I can get it out as quickly as I did the last time, because when I did that, by myself that last time, I really needed to make sure that when I hit the ground running, everything was kind of like all the ducks were lined up in a row. And if I wasn't organized and I didn't have, like, the merch rack or whatever, like, it would have been a bitch to get all the fulfillment out. It's like, oh, where do I have any of these left? Do I have any of these left? And it's like, no, I have a spreadsheet with all of the inventory. I have literally racks where I can pull off and be like, okay, they want one of these, boom, their box and send it out.
Rex and Rex. Hey, all right, so let's see the toys. I don't usually ask to see a man's toys, but let me see your toys.
well, I have these.
As long as you don't ask to see his jewels, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm also planning on launching some 3D resin printed. There might be 4 to 5 inches. I haven't yet settled on the size, but these will be NFC enabled figurines that you can swipe on your phone. And I'm in the process of considering what kind of content I'm going to put in that NFC. Obviously, I want to put the I've made a lot of shorts myself about Infinitail. I actually took little character vignettes, so you could swipe the say, for example, this Galinar figurine, and you would get the short for Galinar to play on your phone, and it gives you a little bio of the character and possibly maybe even his character sheet or something, because it was a player character.
Hey, I gotta wait. I'm sorry. One question. You said NFC. I know NFT. What's NFC?
So NFC stands for Near Field Communication. It's kind of the same technology that Security Badges uses. It's also what the Nintendo Amiibo used.
Yep.
So when you swiped an Amiibo on, like, your game console or whatever, you can get, like, data or unlock additional content. Yeah. And in the base of these figures is an NFC tag that will do the same thing, but you'll need, like, a smartphone where you could swipe it across your smartphone, and that NFC reader that almost every modern smartphone has built into it will launch the website or bring you to that content, so you can get like little movie about the guy, or little video, or
it's a chip. That's what
yeah.
it is.
Yep, yeah, it's a tiny little tag or a little chip, little sticker.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm behind the times. I'm still doing QR codes.
Oh yeah, well, QR codes make long URLs like a snap, which is definitely super convenient.
Yeah, for sure.
Infinitailchronicles.com is a bitch to write out.
Yeah. Now, all right. So I know you've got these. Maybe you don't want to show it. I don't know, but you have terrain, don't you?
Oh yeah. So that's for the.
I know it's in development.
Yeah, I also have. Where are we? So for the tabletop game itself, we've been working on play testing. So we've got, like, for example, some of the prototype cards out for equipment, weapons, armor, and stuff. And we're using a very simplistic Curel system for quality, things like common, uncommon, rare.
Is that your hand?
That's my hand.
You're white.
Hand reveal.
Chris,
it's been so long since I've seen you. I'm like, wait a minute. You know, just kidding.
Yeah.
Hand porn.
Yeah. Yeah, hand porn. But yeah, they're just some of the stuff that I've been working on. But so here's a character sheet it's a 5x7 character card that contains all the character stats, and it gives you a nice, really easy to pick up kind of. It's like, basically the problem I was trying to solve was part of the reason why I was turned off by AD&D 2nd edition and 3rd edition was, well, actually not 2nd edition, really 3rd edition, was you needed a website to figure out how to build your character. Like they forgot that, the simple principle of game design, ludology, is, make it easy to pick up, make it difficult to master. If your barrier to entry is at the very start of your project, nobody's gonna want it. If hour 15 is amazing, but minute 15 sucks, nobody's gonna get to that 15th hour of enjoyment. So part of what I was trying to do was make it less of an intimidating barrier to entry for tabletop players. So we incorporated card playing or card games, but it's very, very graphical. So in the sense that if we ever wanted to localize this, we wouldn't have issues with putting this in an Asian language or putting this in, like, the German test, because a lot of it is iconographically driven, where, it's like you can see, okay, so I have the character name and I see this little thing here. Oh, that's its race. And then here's its class. It's a, in the rules book, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's a magus. And then these are all of the class abilities or skills that come with this class, because these are pre-built classes. And those skill cards have, kind of like if you've ever played games like Mass Effect or whatever, the video game, every time you gain a level, you get some skill points. You can start pumping them in your skills to unlock new abilities and so on. And that's all driven by the cards. So it's a very easy, one-to-one. And here's the back of that same card where you've got the character stats, or these are their attributes. So they have, their base 8 attributes, and how those attributes are affected. And then other things that are come into play while you're playing, things like their resistance and vulnerabilities. It's just kind of like saving throws to some degree. Their traits.
First of all, because you will go. First of all, how dare you for attacking 3rd edition? Okay, and accurately, because my table plays 3.5, and it's like, if you want to really delve into it, we're looking up shit on the internet. It's much easier to really fill out a full character if you have somebody who can just show you, like, the tree, right? So, like, it'll be a tree of well, here's your initiative tree. Oh, you want to be fast at initiative? Follow these feats, or if you want 2 weapon fighting, follow that tree. That whole thing. And it has a bad reputation, but it's also a really good system. So
I'm not knocking the system.
I'm not trying to say that. I was just trying to make a joke on it.
Yeah.
But this, I do like this because you incorporate cards. A lot of the stuff is already filled out for you. You know, like, or I should say, it's organized for you. Which is helpful. It's really helpful.
Yeah. In fact, these are all laminated, the cards, and you can use a dry erase marker.
Yeah, dry. That's how we do it. We do theater of the mind and dry erase.
We were,
So
we were
that would actually work.
developing an RPG for my channel called Writer's Rule, and had a guy who created it, and just from what we did was so much more limited than what you've accomplished here, and so I'm pretty much aghast and in awe of.
Yeah, well, we have tabletop friends that come and, you know, when I had just like regular shows where people just came in and we talked about current topics and stuff like that, they would be on all the time, and like T-shirt historian, or you know, look at this Nerd Wars is up here. I'm incredibly impressed. Like this kind of, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to see. Like Diversity and Dragons might like this stuff, you know, like some of those bigger names. I mean, like, how do you not get on those shows with that? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
tabletop represent. Yeah, Patty. There's another one, of course.
Hell yeah. Well, what I did was, so I got my hands on an FDM printer.
Jealous. Yeah. Sorry.
I got an FDM 3D printer, and the figures are all in resin. So the FDM printer, or the filament printers, can do these really durable tiles. And kind of the idea was, I wanted the battlefields to be dynamically built, and I looked at things like Heroscape, and some of the, I think there was another, I can't remember what it was called, but basically like Settlers of Catan and stuff, where you can actually build your battlefield in real time. And you know, instead of being limited to a table, or, you know, like here's a poster with a graph on it or whatever, and you got somebody with a dry erase marker drawing on it. Instead, we got these little tiles, and what we're not seeing here is the geometry or the figures for like terrain and obstacles, because they were put away at the time. But there would be like trees and boulders and stuff like that.
You need pictures of that, dude.
Yeah, dude, like the freaking, those things are such a, like, I had this one guy from Europe send me a bunch of them, and they like exploded in shipping, and I had to like Frankenstein the things back together. It was a bitch.
Shit.
So
really?
Yeah. So now
from like temperature change, or why would they explode?
I think Ace Ventura delivered them. But like, what that means is I'm probably going, like, I initially wanted to.
We're going downtown.
No, I initially wanted to leverage third-party terrain makers and stuff for those figurines, for like the trees and shit, because like that's gonna get, like, every one of these like figures I've had to hire 3D modelers to make. And that gets expensive when they start adding up. You know, like, here are those same figures that we saw, but shrunken down for playable sizes. So the figurines that you saw previously there, the NFC enabled ones, were more for collectible, like you put it on your desk. These are for let's put them into the game. Like, you can kind of see here they are up here, the size comparisons. And so we were, you know, just testing it out to see if this even worked. And obviously, like, I didn't have the resources to do physical geometry on the tiles, and the tiles are obviously stackable, so you can do elevation and so on. But the idea was, I just printed out terrain textures, so, you know, okay, that's dirt, that's grasslands, that's stonework. I was going to do another one for water and possibly deep water. I got ones for snow. I got ones for swamplands, desert sand, you name it.
1 second, Patty, if you're still there, you're sending me pictures and all that stuff. Just come on the show. I dropped a link. I don't know. I think you're in that DM group. Otherwise, I can send it straight to you. But if you want to come on, I'll just send you the link. Just let me know. Anyways, that looks great.
Thanks, man.
I'm so excited for that part of Infinitale. Like, man, when you start selling that and pushing all of this, that's gonna be amazing, dude. I really hope that you're able to get up on some of these bigger shows and push this, because I think the tabletop guys are gonna eat this up. A lot of them, you know, just not to, you know, downgrade them or whatever. A lot of them don't have the cash flow to design something that that involved, and I think that they would absolutely lose their shit when this hits the market. I think so. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
There's a
that's
question being asked in the chat, by the way.
Oh, okay. He says I got to go back down into the editing mines at Infinito Volume 1 in my cart. Is there any estimate for Volume 2 yet?
Yeah, so Volume 2, we're hoping to kick off the campaign either Q1 or Q2 of 2024, and that is completely contingent upon my art teams. So I'm kind of waiting for them. Like, we've already got the script out. We've already had proofreaders rip into it. We're obviously going to have another round of proofreading after we get the art completed.
Yeah.
And, that could push us back into Q2 of 2024, but 2024, this thing should definitely be out the door. And like I had said previously, we've got 3 different versions of what's coming. You can get the original art team's version, the alternative art direction, or the manga version. And it's, depending on your tastes and what kind of media you like. Hopefully we can get that out again, Q1, Q2 of next year. So
yeah. Oh, dude, it's gonna be so great. Very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of also, for the thanks.
Yeah, it's friggin' amazing, right?
Thanks.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, get your ass on Iron Age Nights or like a big show like that, and then just show them your fucking website, dude. People love that. Oh, I can turn it and it responds to, like, the graphic user interface is just that nice and easy, and they like that simple stuff, man. And it just shows quality. So that high quality people talk about.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, man. Like, this is my life's work. I mean, I know that sounds like a freaking lame thing to say, but it's like, this is, I've made video games and stuff, but I've never made my games. It's always been other people's.
Yeah.
This is my first opportunity to be like, hey, I'm, like I would, I've done art direction for Ubisoft. Well, guess what? Now I'm art directing for myself.
Yeah, art directing for you. Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of what we're doing now is that as the mainstream retracts, there's more and more opportunities for people who have been under the thumb of the mainstream and big producers to do their own thing, because the prices are coming down, and the entrance to being able to afford this stuff has lowered quite significantly. Like people are making movies right now with the red, I don't know what they're called, the red band trailer or cameras or something.
Okay.
But basically, it's just making everything affordable for people to do some incredible stuff that used to be only available to big companies now.
Good night, Nerd Wars. Thanks for joining, dude. I'll check out your channel.
His channel's huge, man. It's great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Shit. Well, oh wait, I don't want to be piss off Eric July, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Nerd Wars, if you have a big channel, will you please try to promote us? That would be great. Not necessarily my channel, but at least some of Chris's shit. You can see it's quality. So anyways.
Yeah, well, somebody had
not
asked,
trying to be a communist. Sorry, Eric July.
How dare you shout me out?
Somebody had asked about, is this inclusive enough? And I'm like, no, this is racist as fuck. Well, it is. Like, the idea is that, this is the race of men, okay? They're not the race of, I prefer people kind, like, this is the race of men. And there's, 5 distinct ethnicities or 5 distinct cultures of men. And there's subcultures of that and so on. Like, mechanically, they're all the same. I mean, we're not saying that the Asian is smarter than the white guy, like, none of that. Like, it's not like that. But, you can have different cultural factors that influence how your character progresses.
Know them days?
Yeah, no them days. Yeah, you only have 2 options. I'm sorry. but like when you start getting into the other races here, like we've got the Wee folk here, freaking badass dwarves and the Tomtar. Well, this was a sadly unexplored race, the Tomtar. When we were looking at, like, the cute race or the adorable race or whatever, actually, why the fuck am I showing the dudes? We came here for the chicks. So when when we were looking at it, it's like, well, are there any like fairy tales or folklore out there? And we came to the various Scandinavian ones, like the Swedish. They had the Tomtar, and I think it was the Norwegian had the Nisser, and it was like the whole story of the cobbler and the elves, the one about the shoemaker who, that's actually a mistranslation. Those aren't elves. Those are the Tomtar. So, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to know more about this. So I started, learning about other cultures' lore and stuff, and thought, well, this is cool. I want to put this in a game and let people explore all
and
of these
just to interject real quick, like I've played Final Fantasy online, the 11 and 14. I played 11 for like 5 years or something. I play 14 now off and on, and people love, especially women, love the small cute characters. They absolutely love it, and they'll play a million of them, and that is a great opportunity. It's like, hey, female players, check these out. You'll really like them, So yeah, that's great, because I don't know, just the way that the way that it graphically looks, and everything like that, it's very attractive. And I don't mean like in a sexual way. It's just like, it's very attractive to want to play.
Yeah, you want to play them. Yeah,
it looks like a very established game, a very established concept. This could be Final Fantasy. It could be a Final Fantasy project.
Well, that's the thing, is you want to sell, like, you know what I mean? When Blizzard learned its lesson with the playable races in World of Warcraft, when they went over to the Asian markets, they were horrified when they found that 99.9% of the players only played Alliance, and there were no Horde players. And it was like, well, why is that? And it's like, well, because Asian markets don't like playing like beastie ugly things.
Yeah.
So that's why when they launched Burning Crusade, the Blood Elves, which were originally intended to be on the Alliance side, were moved over to the Horde side, and suddenly that dynamic of 99% Alliance went to like 80% Horde, because they're all playing Blood Elves.
That's funny. All I do is over penetrate, huh? He says, or they them says, who makes the skankiest book in CG? Asking for a friend.
Damn.
Sure. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't pay attention to that.
I think probably Gymshock is probably the skankiest thing I've seen.
Gymshock is skanky?
Mandy Summers.
Huh?
Huh?
I've only seen
like Jules only, so
yeah. I mean, there was Witchblade, right?
Yeah.
I guess we need to define the term skanky. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like trashy and sexy and all that stuff.
Well, if you want pure sexy, Perfect
I don't
10
buy
is
that.
probably the sexiest female protagonist.
What is?
Perfect 10 does the
Perfect 10.
So the name lives up to the
Yeah. It's very titulature or whatever. Yeah.
Well,
even though she's fully covered.
She's a very healthy young lady.
Very well endowed.
Very well endowed. As a matter of fact, people love drawing her Gluteus Maximus.
Yeah,
she's got people lined up around the block to draw.
Seeing them draw her Gluteus Maximus, I don't mind that at all. But to be fair, she is fully covered, literally from her neck down. So anyways.
Yeah, but there's not very little left to the imagination.
No, yeah. As it, and I don't mind. It's one of the things.
She's 10 times the female of anybody in natural. So.
Well, and my two oldest are girls, and I've given them comics over the time, whatever, and they're like, they've both independently of each other have brought up the fact of how sexualized comics are. I was like, well, yes, it's showing the peak physical form. It doesn't have to be that the fucking nipples are showing or whatever. It's just the fact that it is a peak physique. It's the beyond ability. Like the Hulk's body. I can't achieve that. It's not possible. Or some of the other the female bodies. That's not a normal or real thing.
Just blame Billy Tucci and get a just
the teen sensation.
Yeah.
Because there's before Anna Ishikawa and there's after Anna Ishikawa. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's saying.
I mean, a lot of that shit changed in the 90s, you know, like Jim Lee. And,
Well, that
and
was
stuff
him.
like
That was pretty
Yeah.
much Billy Tucci.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, he slightly predates Brian Pulido and Lady Death.
Well,
So-
Tucci, he did She, is that right? Or he
Yes.
does She? Yeah, I remember seeing or reading an article on him, and I remember him making a point of talking about the fashion of the character. You know, like he was a fashion
that's what it
designer
came out
or
of,
whatever,
yeah.
or he got into fashion designing. What are the two? And that's kind of where the She character, kind of her outfit and all that came together, was from his fashion design experience. I thought that was really interesting when I read that when I was like 14 or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
that's where he came out of. He came out of fashion design rather than the Kubert school. So
Yeah.
everything. So he was like had a real eye about how clothing drapes and how how. I mean, when you look at her, she's more covered up than most of the hot girls from the '90s, but she's more sexy than a lot of them because it's just what he covered up was the point, you know.
Yeah.
You see Witchblade, and there's very little left of the imagination.
No.
There, but, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's
she's
kinda
still going, and
skanky.
Witchblade is not. So there you go. You know.
All right, Overpenetrate says research. That's all. Also, will Infinitel Omnibus have everything, including supplementals, sketch layouts, etc.? Looking forward to it either way.
Yeah, so what I'm planning to do with the War of the Trees saga, or the 10-book series of Infinitel Chronicles, is at the end form an omnibus, obviously, that includes all 10 books. And I was also hoping to include either a supplemental art book during that campaign, or include it in the back of the book as an index or something. Here's the indices. Here's a bunch of cool covers and stuff. And I can show some of that off if you want. But
these goblins look very John A. Douglas orcish.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, if you wanna play the John A. Douglas character in Infinitale, it's here for you. Because unlike so there's no orcs in Infinitale. Orcs is expressly a Tolkien thing, and everybody else just kind of borrowed from it. The closest you can find is the Greek Orcus, which is like a demon of gluttony. But yeah,
Happy New Year's, Patty. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Happy New Year's, man. But
sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. I didn't want to be like, hey, I've got orcs, because Dungeons and Dragons has orcs,
Yeah.
I looked at the origin of goblins, or goblins, and I was like, shit, I'll just go that route. And goblins in the world of Infinitale are this like tragic race. They're kind of sad to think about, because they're the result of what happens when you fuck up magic. And basically, in the events of the Infinitale Chronicles book, I mean, it's basically a story of giving chimpanzees, new launch codes. And they fucked up their world, and they fucked themselves up. And in the process, every time they try to basically breed, they run the chance of having a child that comes out that looks fucked up like this, a goblin. And a goblin is like a hodgepodge of all of the races. They're all fused together, and they start off in their hobgoblin form. And throughout, like in the game world, mechanically, with your racial skills, you can actually pump skills into something called the Hamask, which is this physical transformation that the goblins undergo because they live in a very cruel and brutish society of where the strong survive and the weak die because they're not wanted by anybody. Nobody wants these things. And as a result, you can become more of this thing called a kobold. And, contrary to what Dungeons and Dragons has done and what Warcraft has done, they're basically, this is a kobold. It's a type of goblin. It's got the glowing eyes, the man-sized, proportions.
Whoa. Proportions. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then finally, if you pump enough, of your racial skills, you can actually become the ogre or the bugbear style final end result of the Hamask, and you're basically like a perpetual Hulk. And they're these
that's
big,
cool,
monstrous brutes. And yeah, and the thing is some players, like we actually had a player who chose to remain a hobgoblin throughout the entire game. You know, even though his character is badass, he pumped it all. He did this thing called there was a trait called the Darkling, where his skin is all ashen gray, and it's not green like the traditional ones.
Motherfucker's ashy. Give him some lotion.
No, he went the cunning and magical route. So he was this badass wizard, but he was this thin little tiny, looked like a child from a distance. It was like a little gremlin, a freaking mogwai going around nuking people with spells. And he became a powerful warlord, even though most of the people or most of his subjects were these giant, like he was actually carried around like Master Blaster.
Oh, I had a character like that. He was a little lizard man, and his companion was it skull breaker, fucking ogre or some shit like that, something from 3.5. And we got me like a saddle or whatever, a seat, and I sat on his fucking back, and it was great, dude. It was the best thing ever because I was the kind of like the charismatic commander, and he was the fucking muscle, dude. It was great. It was such a great team up. Anyways,
hell yeah. Well, to go back to the some of the art that would be included in the omnibus here.
Yeah.
Like here was our the campaign book's original cover.
I remember. I have that one.
Yeah, this was what the original art team did for cover, and I got a couple of variants here from. Oops, sorry.
Ooh.
So we have Genzo Man's version of the cover. This is one of the variant covers, and it shows Kalen here with his elves and something nasty that happens in the first book. And then there's also this one, which was the Michelle Hefner version.
Yeah, that's that I got that as I think as like a card, right?
Yeah. These were some mini prints that were included.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these were kind of what I will hope to include in that omnibus. But here's the Amazon edition cover. This is the Melee Hail cover, which shows Ashlyn and Kalen. And then where's it? Well, here's the cover that we'll have for the manga, or the Jumiku no Tyson. And then this is what I'm hoping to do is to get, if you buy both versions, this will be I'm either going to do a wrapper or a slipcase. I'm not quite sure yet to see what I can get logistically and financially to include, because this was done by Clark Ocleza, and it is a representation of something that happens in book 2. So yeah,
nice.
Not some happy stuff there. But in addition to that, I also have a whole bunch of fun little art things that have come up. Like here's that manga promotional image, in its full glory here. This was done by Kevin Sharp, and Steve Cannon colored it. But it's a representation of. It's actually something you can see a little bit of in the free 15-page preview of book 2, where they talk about how the elves, who are very racist and very vain, they have an intolerance of ugly. They just are exterminating these animals, and
that's funny. I like that kind of aspect, because it's like, the argument of things like the Platonic idea of beauty and the realm of beauty versus not the realm of beauty. It's like, well, generally good would be in the Platonic realm of beauty, right? But in this case, they value beauty, but they don't understand like the value of everything else. Is that, I don't know.
A lot of this, so
as an ugly guy, I'm saying we're valuable.
Well, when I approach the stories of Infinitale, again, a lot of this is, you can take from it what you will, but there are themes of childhood end, or childhood's end, where we have to understand that the protective microcosm we had provided by our parents, it's not going to be there forever, and if it is, it'll kill us. So you have to leave that nest, and we're a lot of the things that we see that we're not used to the foreign stuff. It scares us. It makes us, it reviles us. We don't.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is kind of an allegory of that. Leaving comfort and finding things that that are unfamiliar to you, and kind of appreciating the beauty in it. And that's why we have we've got the genocidal elves essentially, and then you got these weird little goat people that are super primitive and stuff, and yet they seem to be just as happy. And it's like, well, why? You're ugly and disgusting. You live in filth. And it's like, well, there's a whole other perspective, a whole other world out there.
And it's funny because I've actually been around people like that, where they are literally disgusted at you because, like you're out, you're ugly, or you're just some kind of an outsider in some way, and they will. I mean, I could feel, if that's a thing, you could feel their disgusted aura, I'm like, fuck you, dude, because I don't make, as much as you, or because I don't know, I'm not as good looking as you or something. Like, it's a real thing. Like, it's pretty crazy.
That's the thing that modern writers have lost. That J.R.R. Tolkien talked about this. He did not like allegory, and so he didn't deliberately put allegory in Lord of the Rings. He, as a matter of fact, he hated it when people pointed out that this was like something that was in the real world. He hated that, and but there's like so much application that happened that came out of Lord of the Rings. So many things that you could point to that you could like take lessons to the real world. And the reason why is because he let the art be the art. And when you come from a pure place, when you create, the allegory happens. Anyway.
I mean, the metaphor there is clear. I mean, obviously people will say, oh, it's what it means, or that's what it means. But his experiences in World War One, I mean, come through pretty clearly, even in the Peter Jackson version.
Well, he'll tell you that he didn't mean anything, but people were able to take meaning from it because it was pure art.
Yeah.
And the more pure the art, the more you get yourself out of the way and just create, the more it's going to resonate with people and endure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we'll be talking about Lord of the Rings, 50 years from now, and it'll still be just as relevant to then as it was back in the 20s.
I believe you. I agree. Well, and like when I come from my position of writing Immortal Rising or anything really, I'm not specifically trying to put in a certain narrative, right? The message. I'm not trying to put in a certain message. It's like
when you try
what
to shape
serves
it, right?
It's like the characters shape the story. What serves the characters? Characters or plot or whatever. So, character development should carry the plot line, in my opinion.
Just to kind of to echo off of that was when somebody actually, one of the few reviews I got, which I'm super grateful for, somebody reviewed the book, and her take on the story was very modern. And it was interesting to see that this was written over 30 years ago, by a dumb, barely functionally literate, dyslexic kid. But she's like, wow, dude, like, this is like a total commentary on our government. Like, the gods are this like oppressive force that tells you everything that you should, how to live your life. Right. And when they try to resist, they get crushed like a bug. And I'm like, wow, like, didn't write it that way, but that's, you got it.
Yeah,
like,
if you want to pull that out, great. I'm glad that you found value in it, in that way.
Well, the thing about it is, though, is what's the reason why people reject and have like a visceral rejection of modern writing is because they have deliberately put it in. They deliberately shove this stuff in.
The message.
The message.
I'm not preaching to the audience, like.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a reason
why
sermons are free.
But see, that's the thing. You don't have to. If you create art, if you create pure art from a pure place, then the message will get across anyway. Even if you don't, as long as you don't intend it, somewhere deep inside of you, you're writing for yourself. from your own experiences. There you go.
Right.
There's a big. But
all right, Chris. I like the close up.
there
Yeah,
you go.
well, like for instance, in Immortal Rising, one of the first pages, it's Drake is like, man, I don't know if I can do, what am I supposed to say with these princes? How am I supposed to act? It's like they're rich, they don't know what it's like to be, this guy that grew up in the fucking woods, like they don't. How do we interact? And that was a concern of his. And you could be like, well, that's a classist theme, and so now there's the message of the rich guys have to be bad. And I kind of played on that a little bit, where like, because like one of my early readers was like, he liked how you started off not liking one of the princes, and then by the end it turns out the one that you did kind of like was
He's the good
actually an
guy.
asshole.
Yeah, and the one that you hated, that you thought was arrogant jackass, was the good guy.
Yeah, you had to be okay. Yeah, exactly.
But you only saw it when they were under stress.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, you saw their real nature come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's just good writing. That's just good writing, because you didn't try to shape who he was. You let him be who he was going to be, and so it resonates with people. That genuineness of that character.
I hope so, because I actually was taking like, I'll hear phrases from people, certain personality types, and it will come out in the characters as I'm writing them. Like I've heard people say some of the things that these characters have said, and so I applied it to it. And to me, it feels more genuine, because I've genuinely heard people make these arguments or say these things in situations.
Well, I consider writing.
I've seen cowards, like I've seen brave men, I've seen cowards, and I can tell, I've heard what they say and how they feel and what they think and all that stuff, and what phrase that I've heard in the past. What's that?
I consider writing a mosaic. Okay.
Yeah.
You're creating a new piece of art, or you're creating something that's a work of art from things that you have like laying around, or things that things that are parts of different other things, and then you assemble it together in this brand new work of art. And it's but it's not the sum of its parts. It's actually something brand new.
Yeah.
And so if I can tell what you meant when you wrote something, you're a bad writer. Okay.
Yeah.
I should not. Yeah. I should be able to. It's if it comes into me and I see it in a certain way, and it feels like my experience, then you've done your job. But if it comes to me and I know exactly what you meant by this, and I know exactly what you meant to say by this, then you're a bad writer. This is basically you telling me something.
Or
it's
even
not a conversation.
It's
not something organic.
You know where they're coming from, and they choose to write it in like a really ham-fisted way, or a half-assed way even, and it's like, man, you missed the mark, and it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. And people have different levels of writing and whatever else, but at the same time, some people do it just kind of too much. And I'm not just talking about indies. I'm talking about like listening.
We've got some really bad writers in our sphere here, and they sell hundreds of thousands of books. Okay, and they're really bad. I mean, they're bad. I mean, there's one guy who has been on book after book after book after book. I tell his name. Your first reaction is, "Oh, that's a nice guy. You shouldn't talk about him like that." But
maybe
he's done nearly 20 books in this area. In our, and he calls himself the king of like fulfillment or whatever. But I have not. I have 9 of his books, and I've yet to find one character I cared about. All of it.
Why do you keep buying them then?
Well, I kept buying it because it was part of all these other series, and I didn't realize that he was the one writing it.
Makes sense.
But the thing about it is, though, I mean, he writes so much in this area. But if I can't find somebody who resonates with me, that I care about, if they're in trouble, if they're like in danger, and I can put the book down, you failed. You failed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it's like a high stakes point and they're like, I'll get back to that. Yeah, it's not a good sign.
I mean, I see Shadowpunk, the hit book Shadowpunk. He has this little girl, and she has a. I mean, it's like she has one of the roughest times of any book I've read in years.
Yeah.
I mean, she's having a horrible life, and yet she's spunky. She's positive. She like does playful things like little girl things.
Yeah.
And then that I mean, and you're just like praying that she'll come out of it. And I was like all the way to the final page turn of that book, and the final page turn was just a shot to the gut for me.
Really?
And,
well, that's your like the only one that's gotten 6 carats or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, I gave the whole series of hybrids a 6 carat the other day, but that's for the whole series, but not the individual book. But then that book, I mean, if I'm sitting there and I got tears rolling down my face because of what I just read, you got me. You won. You know, you did the job. But I mean, I don't feel. Yeah, there's books after books after books that I don't feel a thing for. I've got a copy of the Mutant Massacre, and there are some gut punches in that. And this was a series of books, off of different characters across different. It's the first time it's ever happened in Marvel. It's become old hat now. But the Marvel, the office of the X-Men office put this together basically. And you got Anno Cinti, you got Louise Samuelson, you got Chris Claremont, various other writers that were participating in this. Yeah. And every single one of those books, you'll have something that happens in this book that happens in this book too, from a different angle. And they planned this so carefully, and they don't. Modern Marvel is not capable of this. They're not capable of it. They're just not.
No. I mean, I've seen some of the the pages, that stuff that gets shared on Twitter, and it's like, I'm so glad that I don't buy anything current from the big two. Like, I see no reason to.
They're gender swapping Moon Knight.
I don't understand why people are still buying it. I mean, there are people who like it, and that's fine. You're buying it, fine. But why are you buying it just to complain about it? Like, can we just get over this by now? They say, oh well, the quality in indie isn't as good as professionals.
Well,
where the fuck is the professional quality? I'm not seeing it.
I've heard Westman Thinking Critical say it this way, that the reason why he keeps getting the books when he's pretty sure he knows it's going to disappoint him is because he's basically telling people what's good. He considers that his job. Yeah. And trying to encourage them to do better. And so he's not giving up on the industry, and he is suffering for it. I tell you, he did a rant the other day that was just beautiful, and he was just talking about the fact that Valley DeRosio, who used to be in the mainstream, hangs around X, but she knows where a lot of the bodies are buried. She might have participated in burying them. But she was saying that there's an attitude, and this is the first person I heard say this, but there's an attitude in the upper echelons of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
The comic book shops to die.
Are you serious?
And their entire yes.
Well, I saw it was a Mike fucking some Mike asshole. I can't remember. Was it Wade? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to say the wrong name.
Mark
some
Wade.
fucking
Mark
moron
Wade.
is like,
yeah, he said,
we should burn it all down.
No,
what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I would rather see the industry. Me and my friends would rather see the industry burn down than allow anybody alt-right back into the industry.
Yeah, or acquiesce to the alt-right, meaning that
right. Or even meet them halfway. To even meet them halfway, he'd rather burn the industry down.
Yeah.
And
but we're not in a civil war, right? It's not a culture war, guys. Okay, sure. If you say
No,
so.
this is ideological subversion at its best.
Yeah, of course we're in a fucking culture war. Are you kidding me? Like if it's not obvious to you by now, it's fucking since 2000, I don't know what, 14? Like you still don't get it? Wait, no, that one video is floating around about, well, I did a search from 2012. No shit. It's called the Smith-Mundt Act, asshole. You didn't know about it for fucking 10 years doesn't mean the rest of us didn't fucking know about it.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's like you know, if you haven't been watching the quick progression of the message over the time, like sure, there's plenty of people who've been belly aching about it for years now and made a full fucking career out of it. Good for you. But to say that that it's not a thing when it's clear that we're in the middle of it, well, because the bullets aren't flying around, you're an asshole.
What gets me though is I was watching Mark Millar talk to these comic book, these shop owners, and there's a guys that own chains, okay, and not just one shop. These are guys that own chains.
Yeah.
And he kept pushing them. Something happened in 2016. Something happened in 2016. What happened in 2016? And they would not talk about the content. That the content changed. They said everything but. They said all the Hollywood took all the good writers and the editorial change and blah blah blah. They said everything but the damn content. They are so terrified to address the content, and the content is everything. Okay, because we've gone through incidences in the past where there has been bad editorial, where there has been a lack of good writers or big name writers in the industry, and they weathered the storm. Why? Because the content was still decent, the content was still accessible. But what's the problem now is the content is no longer accessible to most of America, and most of that slice of the pie is the people who buy comics religiously. Had in the past bought comics religiously and kept these shops open. But the very people that they were relying on to keep their doors open, they despise.
Right.
And so
because they're all programmed. They're all fucking Marxist programmed assholes.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's the same thing in the tabletop world. It's
it's the same thing in video games, dude. When I got into the video game industry, I thought I was like that B girl in the Blind Melon video. Yeah. When she opens the gates at the end and it's like, alas, I'm finally around my people. Because, prior to that, I was working in blue collar stuff. And every time they talked about sports, my brain just turned off. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about overpaid people playing schoolyard games.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I get into the video game industry and these people are all too fucking cool for school. They all think they're not dorks. It's like, dude, you're just as big of a geek as me. You work in the fucking video game industry. Get over yourself. Yeah. And they're like, I'm just using this as a stepping stool to get into Hollywood. None of them gave a shit about video games. Right. They hated their customers. I was a community head or whatever the hell, the community manager for one of the startups that I got into the industry. And like these people who had donated money, this is before Kickstarter, had donated money to this startup that I was working for. And they're like, hey, it's been a year. No progress. What's going on? And I'm like, hey, I'm getting some news over on our forum. People that gave us money are kind of wanting to know where their money is, like what's going on. Yeah. And these guys are like, fuck them, man. These entitled pieces of shit. So I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, what? Do you want me to tell that as an answer to these people? Because I'm not going to fucking say that.
Should I tell them what you really feel like?
Yeah. So I'd like have to make up these diplomatic lies. I'm like, it's a cutthroat industry, and I apologize that we can't share what we have until we're ready to bring it to market, because there are people with a lot more resources than us that if we shared what we have and they went, oh, that's a good idea, suddenly what made our product special would be released by EA or Activision before we could even launch ours. And it was what placated, they were like, oh, okay, I understand or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like a dirty because like these people hate their customers. They seriously hated their customers, dude. And it's in comics, it's in like it's in TV shows, it's in movies, it's in everything. And it sickens me. Like, what the fuck happened? Yeah. Like, you got into this. Like, if you are too cool for school and you don't like this particular thing, get the fuck out of the industry, because there's a million more people behind you that would be more than happy to take the shittier pay, the uncertain work hours, the no work-life balance, and whatever, because this is what they love to do. Those are the people I want to work with.
I think it was building for, I don't know, probably since, we'll say 2000, right? Just as a general thing. Because, I mean, really, I think the Marxist infiltration and push really started with the PC culture in the 90s. It's been growing. It took a break for a little bit, but it came back with a vengeance because it went to the colleges and it started, it was like cocooned and started metamorphosizing. And it really came out in around 2014 is when I think it's when it really started coming out. You started seeing things like, what was that in Missouri? They had that big ass fucking that riot, and I think it was in Missouri. They had the big ass riot, and they were like claiming all this racism stuff came out. I think it was the same year. It was
Ferguson.
Also that green. Yeah. Yep. What was it called?
Ferguson, Missouri.
Ferguson, because of Ferguson was a domino. And it was like, oh, wait, we can do this now and get away with it. Yep. Yeah. Because of all those assholes who, in the universities and the colleges and all that shit. And then it's just once you get them trained and they become teachers, and they start teaching it and all throughout the levels of schooling for 20 fucking years. Yeah. This is what you get. People will actively accept all this nonsense and chaos. They don't teach things like traditional universities would teach on. They don't care about things like logic and it's not a thing anymore. What they want to talk about is how you feel, and then they give you a structure of how to feel. It's the Marxist critical theory, and you can apply that to race, to class, to any of the things. Like as long as there is an oppressor and an oppressed, there it is. And they'll, even if there's not, they'll just say that there is, or if there is, they'll explode it to make it seem more than it has to be. It's like, first of all, you don't have to participate in being an oppressed person. Like you don't have to be a part of any of this shit. You could just fucking, get out and go off and fucking build a yurt in the middle of nowhere. And people won't even give a shit about you and live your own damn life how you like. You could be a they, them, and whatever you want to do. So I don't know, but that doesn't matter. That's not what they're told. They're not told the true value of the individual liberty of America. They don't give a fuck.
They don't want individualism. They want collectivism.
They always think in collective ways too. No. White people, black people. I know so many varieties of people within those fucking categories that it's disgusting. I don't like being called white, not because I don't like what white is. It's because what the fuck is white? Is it Czechoslovakian? Is it Irish?
Is it Irish, yeah. Italian.
And then that white, is that not a minority across the globe?
Well, that's
you talk about minorities.
If you haven't noticed, the replacement theory isn't a theory anymore.
It's not working out too well for him right now, is it? Now even the fucking blacks are bitching about it because here comes all these fucking this cheap labor, even cheaper than what we were
Chicago
getting before.
Residents.
I mean, get real, dude. And these people don't give a fuck about our culture. They don't give a fuck about our past. They don't care where our traditions are. They don't give a fuck about any of that shit because they're foreigners. Go figure, but I'm a racist. Okay, I don't give a fuck what the race is. I really don't care.
That's the whole point of integration, and you can't do integration when you have a mass migration like this. Like this is a conquering. This is an invasion.
Of course it is. It's a conquering to globalize, right? It's to there's no individuals. You are a category. You will behave in these certain ways, or you will be shamed.
Yep.
I wish shame didn't work on white people as well as it does, but it really does, and they fucking lean into it hardcore.
Well,
I don't know one black person who's ashamed.
Yeah,
we've had it built into us. I remember.
I agree.
I remember being in. I remember white people bad being in my curriculum when I was in like kindergarten. I mean. I remember. I mean, this was me in the 70s, man. I mean, I'm not recent. I'm not talking recently. I'm talking about in the 70s. I
Yeah.
remember a moment in time when I was in junior high. I think it was ninth grade. When I asked the teacher, I was like, oh, yeah, we get it. Okay, white people were, did this, and this, and this, but but other people did stuff too, right? And I got in trouble for saying that. And
Really?
This was back in mid '80s,
Shit.
maybe.
I mean, in public school, you push back in any way, you get in trouble anyways. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that we are like, I mean, this whole thing with the teachers indoctrinating kids. I mean, I'm sorry, this has been going on a while.
I agree. You're talking to somebody who hates public school system anyways.
No,
so
dude,
yes, it's clearly an indoctrination program.
Well,
here's
watch
the thing
Sesame Street sometime, or listen to what Mr. Rogers really, or Mr. whatever his name is really says. Mr. Robinson, Rogers, Mr. Rogers. Okay, listen to what he really says sometimes. It's all globalism. It's all collectivism.
That comes out of the original Marxist push after World War II, right? That culminated in the '65 Act, where it's like, oh yeah, immigration should change, and we should accept it from anywhere, from anyone, and all this other shit. Well, fast forward 40, 50 years, and great. Now what do we got to do? Well, now I have to not send my children to public school, which I wouldn't do anyways. Have you seen some of these fucking videos where people are just getting beat up because they're white?
Yeah.
They're just going to get fucking jumped, because
that's,
as we know, as white or white adjacent people, you get a fucking group with 10 blacks together and beating up on one dude is not uncommon.
Did you know that a kid got beat to death in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And nobody talked about it.
Hoo, and next thing you know, you're surrounded by black guys fucking swinging.
It was not even on the news.
I grew up in a black neighborhood. I know exactly how they fucking work.
Here's the thing, though, is like this happens in every country where whites become the minority. Look at Rhodesia. It got renamed Zimbabwe after they killed all the freaking whites and chased them out.
Right.
Like, and again, I don't have skin in this game, dude. I'm Korean and Jewish. Which part of me is like, I could blend in somewhere else, if you know what I mean. But like, I like the cultures that I've grown up in. I don't want to see those cultures get destroyed, and that's what's happened. I'm not really fixated on the race so much as the culture, and these cultures are being erased.
And what's crazy is I remember, was it 20 years ago? I remember having the consideration. I was like, what is my culture? What is American culture? It's like, what is it that we're really dealing with? And because when I grew up, my boomer parents and shit, we didn't lean into any ethnicity background. Like, we didn't have any traditional culture that came into it. It was things like television. It was, my father was very into the military. So military stuff was prominent. But there wasn't a lot of like cultural stuff. Like you see, the Italian families getting together, and it's or the Greeks, Opa, none of that shit existed. And it really got to me because I'm like, well, what is American fucking culture, And I started, delving into my my ethnic past and like European history, because all that shit really wasn't taught. They talk about Western civilization, but they don't talk about the different cultures and traditions in very much. It always seems very foreign and in the past. And you see ethnic costumes, right? It's like, no, that's traditional dress.
Yeah,
why do they do that? Why is it traditional? What was the value that they found that it became a tradition? None of that's breached. None of it's even talked about.
We have, like, anybody that's lived outside of the United States knows that we have an American culture. Like 4th of July every summer, blowing shit up, seeing fireworks and stuff,
Yeah.
As a Jew that doesn't celebrate Christmas, I still love the Christmas holiday season. I love seeing the decorations up. I love seeing them. I love the music. I love the, when people start going, like, the capitalist in me loves it when they push products. But like, those are all, that's part of our culture. Yeah, that's part of our culture.
Parentheses.
Oy, mate. The goyim, no, shut him down. But like, you know, like that's American. That's Americana. That's part of our culture. You're not going to find that elsewhere. And you know, and I've lived abroad. I've lived in other countries, and when I hear an American accent, I don't care if it's attached to a black guy or an Asian dude or a Hispanic. What I just see, I'm like, oh, thank God, somebody who speaks my language. Yeah. You know, and we don't have like they're intentionally destroying that disunity, or they're intentionally creating that disunity in our country, because now it's there's black culture. No, there isn't. Like, there's no black culture. I'm sorry, but there is ghetto culture. There's the, you know, and then there's the there's American culture. Like, it's what Morgan Freeman said. Like, don't make a freaking month dedicated to me. He's like, make
not
it
only
part of the
that,
entire
but
American tapestry.
But like black culture or whatever, a lot of that shit has been manufactured anyways.
Yeah,
you know,
it was all by Jewish guys.
Right.
Yeah.
When I mentioned that Rick Rubin, you know, fucking undermined black culture by making rap music. He didn't actually have, you know, he worked with, you know, Beastie Boy. He didn't have a lot. Motherfucker, he owned Def Jam Records. You're gonna tell me that had no impact on fucking black culture?
You heard what Ice Cube told Tucker Carlson, right?
You know, what's that?
So Ice Cube, I mean, the man's been in the industry. He's somebody you should probably listen to when he's talking about the industry.
Yeah, he was there like from the beginning.
From the onset, freaking NWA, you know, like, so this guy is explaining how a lot of the record companies, the owners of the record companies, also own prisons. And he's like, you know, we're wrapping up, like, I'm rapping from the heart. I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm telling stories about it. And then I'm seeing what I'm seeing being perverted into this like encouragement. Like, no, this is a warning, not an encouragement.
Yeah.
But you know, so
like people will admit that the CIA ran crack into the ghettos and shit like that. But they will not admit that rap is completely manufactured. That it was completely manufactured to because music is a fucking, you know, bardic magic and all that shit. Yeah. When you continually hear words put into your brain, rhythmically and all that shit, it changes your brain, and you start listening and breathe. You know, like you see it now. People show Taylor Swift, and they're like, "Okay, listen to the lyrics. What do the lyrics say to you?" You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen to the fucking music. Listen to the stuff that you've been consuming. Is any of that really healthy? Is any of that, you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, it just, for me though, like I see that, like, and again, I'm totally about culture. I don't care about race. Like, there's already studies that, like, I can throw whatever I've looked into this shit because I'm generally curious, because I'm a mutt. I don't have a single ethnic foundation to stand on.
Right.
I'm rejected by both sides. I've been told, oh, you're a good artist. You'd be a great artist if you were fully Korean. You know,
yeah, but I mean, your Jewish side is like Jew supremacist, and your Korean side is Korean supremacist.
Yeah. So I have these two sides like fighting.
They talk about white supremacy, but how about the other ones?
How about the
choose an ethnicity?
But like, you know, for me, it's all about culture, and what I've seen is a sabotage of our cultures. You know, like if you look at like the black communities, this is horrible, but during like pre-civil rights and during all that stuff, they were in intact families. They had a dad. Right. They, you know, and not only that, but they've already shown studies that when you give when you raise black Americans in the same environment as the quote unquote white Americans or the Asian Americans or whatever, they excel academically. This isn't like a racial intelligence. Like, that whole thing is complete bullshit. So what we're seeing is the whole celebration of trash.
The IQ fallacy.
Yeah,
you know,
but
IQ
like,
is a tool. Wisdom is the hand that uses the tool.
But yeah, the point I'm trying to make though about you know, black culture, blah blah blah. Like they don't know any better. That was deliberate sabotage. Okay?
Deliberately done. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like Rick Rubin, and I'm told to not. Oh, you can't not like him because all the contributions he made, all the contributions.
It's happening in white culture now too, or the white community side too. We are watching, in my lifetime, we went from an 88% white America down to a 60%. Okay? In any other case, that would be called genocide, but it's okay You know, we're not supposed to talk about it. Diversities are
wasn't
strange.
done with
But
bullets, so
we're
it's not a
seeing
genocide.
The rise of single motherhood across the board. It's not just blacks. Like, you know, the whole broken home thing is not. But what I think it was a dress rehearsal. It's exactly like what they did with the Tuskegee Airmen, where they experimented on these, or I'm sorry, not the Airmen, where they did the Tuskegee experiments, where they basically let syphilis run in these poor fucking people and let it run. And it's like, no one, if I were black, I'd want nothing to do with this government. I'd be like, you fucked us, man.
Yes. Like, I mean, so like I got a black friend and he's like jabbed to the gills. And I'm like, are you serious? Like,
were you not paying attention?
Yeah. Do you remember the AIDS epidemic where they said that you could just like touch a cereal box and get AIDS from somebody?
Thanks,
like,
Fauci.
I'm just saying, you know, I was surprised. I was like, holy shit, like you're fully fucking boosted and everything, huh? Okay. Well, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
We're seeing a rise of that ghetto trash like culture in whites now. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, the whole wigger thing has at least been from the 90s. I remember I was surrounded by them. You know how many fucking wiggers I had to fight? Get out of here, dude.
But it was a cultural thing. It was never a race thing.
Right.
Like, and it's getting to the point now where we're watching that window being pushed to the point of irreversibility, where we are in an idiocracy now. We are seeing like white kids who are like pushed through the school systems now from single mothers, you know, and they become meth heads, fentanyl, like all this stuff. And it's like, that's what back in the 90s, that's what everybody was blaming on the blacks. And it's like, they had nothing to do with it, dude. They were being sabotaged by our fucking government.
Yeah.
So,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, but
and some of the direct actors, you know, involved.
The traitors.
But I'm not trying to say.
Well, no, as a member of the Jewish community, like every group has its trash, and we have. I think it was Mark Dice called them Ginos, Jew in name only, because these Bolsheviks that start this shit. They haven't
Khazarians and all that,
Well, they haven't seen the inside of a synagogue since their bar mitzvah, you know, just to get.
Well, a lot of them are atheists.
Yeah, a lot of them are atheists, and it pisses me off because they start up shit like you get like Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman doing that incredibly mean-spirited Santa Claus special with the elves and the feminist stuff, pissing people off. It's like, dude, you're not even Christian. You have no business making a Christian holiday thing that shits all over Christians. And then they get pissed off, and then they go and run and they hide behind the rest of us Jews, and they're like, my anti-Semitism. It's like, no, dude, they don't hate Jews, they hate you.
Holocaust. Oh, here we go. The problem is women stop giving blowjobs. Not sure how that makes sense, but it's true.
She's all, yep. Oh.
Well, and like women, I'd say women, men were effectively replaced by the state as the breadwinner. So women didn't have to value men as much, and they were constantly told by people like Madonna to fuck around and explore their sexuality and all this other shit. Exactly. And but that, like, if you have a strong family structure, which, you know, my family has problems and all other stuff, but it is the mother and father are in the house, and we are collectively trying to build a positive environment for our children. And I see it even now today. Like, they are not like a lot of the other kids out there, you know. In fact, they don't like associating with most kids, you know, because like a lot of most kids are very shallow. They're very chaotic in their personalities. And it always devolves into, I wouldn't say always, but it generally devolves into being degenerate, or if not sexual, then misbehaving, you know, like, but the kids who grow up in nuclear family and homeschool, they get along with immediately, no problems. There's no degenerate talk. There's nothing like that. They can be 12, you know, they don't have to try to be 20-year-old, you know, what is it, that show, the single women in New York, they don't have to try to mimic that kind of shit, you know? So I don't know, it's just very different if you have a family culture, and that's the real enemy to a lot of people. Is like, you need a family structure. The dad's got to be dumb, drunk, and fat and can't seem to get anything together in his life. Meanwhile, you know, like look at The Simpsons. It's like, meanwhile, he's affording all this shit. He works as a nuclear fucking tech.
Yeah,
you kidding
how's that
me? But
work?
he's a dummy. Like, whatever. You
Well,
know?
well, it's like, you know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, right? You've heard
Yes.
that?
I learned
So-
that through life, and then I
Yeah.
was told what it was. Yes.
Well, I think there's also a global hierarchy, okay, and it starts with the individual. Like you, as an individual, you are the foundation of everything. You need to get your shit sorted. If you've got damage or whatever, you need to fix yourself before you can be in a relationship. So
Yeah.
the next layer is family. A solid family becomes the foundation of a neighborhood.
Society. Yes.
A neighborhood, and then a community, then a town or a city, a state, a region, a country, and then eventually the world. Like it all blossoms outwards.
No, Eric July would call that communism. He would tell you to pull up your bootstraps and make your own pie.
God damn. But
Sorry.
But we're looking at a multi-pronged assault on every one of those things. And if you haven't noticed, the majority of people that we see today are mentally ill in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
They're either depressed or they've got
I
unresolved
don't even know that
childhood
it's
trauma.
mentally ill. It's definitely emotionally ill.
Well, yeah. Well, emotional retardation is a mental illness. I mean, if you can't be an adult, like if you have reached the age of adulthood and you can't handle adult responsibilities, like you're dysfunctional. Like that's a get help. Like,
yeah. T-Bunny's very quiet right now.
I'm sorry. It's a very uncomfortable conversation.
He's like, I really don't want to get into this, guys.
Just letting you guys go. I mean,
yeah. Well, all right. So speaking of going, we've gone at almost 3.5 hours. I got to use the bathroom. I'm out of drinks. So, and I think the goblins are upstairs running around. So, I guess let's. Sorry to call it so fast and without any warning, but let's get back together and do this another time.
Hell yeah!
You know, it was a good time.
Anytime.
You know, I value you guys a lot, and I really hope that you guys have a great 2024. So,
oh yeah, likewise, man.
There's a lot of good stuff going on right now with us to get away from the despair. You know, there's a lot of great shit coming in this next year. You know, for me, I'm going to try to do that in Immortal Rising Tales #2, where it's going to be a story about the defeat of Dracula in my world. And then hopefully I'll get Immortal Rising #2 out as well, which of course will include Knights of Locutus 2 and stuff like that. So, because people seem to really like the gods part. So, man, and I'll tell you, Jared, Comics League Jared, he was talking about how, you know, the art kind of builds up to the gods, and the gods version is like really ornate and all this other stuff. Well, Knights of Locutus #2 is even more detailed than the first one. Like the armor design, the background, you know, swirling mist and all that shit that Jose does so beautifully. All that's to another level in #2. So it'll be a good time. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Shadowhawk Talks. What's up, dude? Hail all. Yeah. Yeah. Great holiday and Happy New Year. Same to you, man. Thank you. He says, I want to die as soon as possible with the world's projection. Where the fuck is that meteor? Come on back. No, do not let Black Chad take you, dude. We need you on this side. We need you here now, building that positive future, man. That's how it's done.
Despair.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess on that note, fuck the demons of despair. Fuck you all. Let's build something positive. Stick together. That's how you win. This is you know what happens to a lone wolf? He fucking starves. So find good friends, get together, work together, and make it happen. Make tomorrow and next year happen. So all right. I guess on that, let's see. Let me find it. I guess on that we'll say enough talk. Enough talk.
Enough talk.